sports.
He scored! What a blast by Boston! Waiting, Holiday, three. Good night! Oh!
WBZMM and HD Boston. 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline. Presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Both Celtics and the Bruins off for a while, so we begin with hockey, and more specifically the Four Nations face-off. Charlie McAvoy, Jeremy Swayman, and Team USA played last night in Montreal. They beat Finland 6-1. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk each scored twice, and this sets up the big matchup at the tournament tomorrow night as the U.S. will play Canada. The NHL and the Players Union announced that a World Cup of Hockey will take place in 2028. The hope is to have at least 8 nations involved. Red Sox pitchers and catchers went through another workout down in Fort Myers, Florida yesterday. According to the Boston Herald and others, newly signed Alex Bregman could arrive as soon as this morning. Alex Cora, meanwhile, is not worried about moving his new player from third to second base.
The way he moved his feet, at that time it was the size, I never thought that he was going to be a Gold Glove third baseman, but it kind of like, I saw it, I was like, man, this kid is going to be good at second. It just happened that, the guy that's playing second for the Houston Astros, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
The first full squad workout for the Red Sox will be Monday. NBA All-Star Weekend begins tonight in San Francisco with the Rising Stars Tournament. The Celtics' J.D. Davison, who's one of the G League players participating, and the New York Jets officially announced yesterday Aaron Rodgers will not be back with them next season. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Game Day Men's Health. Suffering from low T? Game Day Men's Health can help with a free and quick T-level test. Search GameDayMen'sHealth.com to find a location near you. Game Day Men's Health, because every day should feel like game day. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
If you've got the app, you've got Toucher and Hardy to wake you up no matter where you are.
Or who may or may not have been to jail.
Get the app. The 98.5 The Sports Hub app.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher.
Brett Toucher on Instagram. Follow and see dog humping videos.
And Hardy.
I'm going to withhold sex.
On 98.5.
Hello!
Hey there.
Yo. Can we use this for the radio?
What? Let me hear you say, oh. Na, 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 na.
Crush me, mommy.
Just not enough booty to go around? Say my name.
I'm a robot.
I'm the son of the production.
Give your girlfriend or your wife a box of Snickers. I'll tell you, it's good. Chewing on that caramel and the nuts. Get some nuts.
Fun.
Oh, man.
And if you don't go, you get to go to Groton to pick them up in the middle of the night.
The nice thing is going from where you live to Milton at 5:45 on a Friday. It's probably only about 10 miles and should only take you about an hour and 15 minutes.
I'm guessing that it won't because of the holiday for most kids being next week. And the traffic has been fairly light this week, in my experience. That I don't know why, but like things that usually it's taking like a quarter of the amount of time than it usually does to get to and fro. So I'm hoping that is the case today. Going south at 5 on a Friday, I'm thinking might be okay. That's the plan.
Okay, I hope you're right, and I'm not trying to,
Well, I don't think you control the universe.
Fred,
so
I'm not trying to harsh your mellow.
Please don't.
Okay.
Because I have considered this to be something that could happen.
But the fact that you just said going south on a Friday, that's the worst.
In the winter?
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime.
Who's going south in the winter? I don't know. I don't usually go south.
I thought that was going to be a bird joke. I don't know. People still go down
Why would
the Cape
I tell a
and
bird joke?
Go away, go
'cause of
places.
John being a bird?
Right. 128 and 95 and the Expressway 93. Going south on Fridays is a nightmare.
Usually it's a big mess. Hardy's right.
Okay. Well, then it will be a big mess. I don't have any options.
Leave extra time.
Like there are times when I have to, I'm home on a Friday and then I have something to do like over at Dedham. I got to go over to Legacy or something like at 4:30, right?
Yep.
Run over there. And getting there takes 12 minutes.
Yes, getting home is
and then
8 times longer.
Yeah,
yes.
Last Friday I did early edition up in Needham, right?
Yeah.
And driving in to get there at like 6 or whatever, I flew right in. Like 15 minutes. I'm looking at the traffic going back the other way.
Yeah.
It's just a standstill.
Okay, so the way I would get there is kind of the way to Dorchester, so it won't be bad. It's by the country club and stuff. I didn't realize Milton was that close. From here, it's far. From my house, I guess it says that you just cut like the Arbor Way, so I can't imagine that's going to be that bad. But maybe it is. What am I going to do? There's nothing I can do about it. It's either go there or go to Groton. So 5:45 game. Varsity probably ends at 9. They'll get back to Groton from Milton probably about 10:30. Pick them up at 11 o'clock at night in Groton. No, I think I'd rather drive 45 minutes. If it takes 45 minutes or an hour to get to Milton, I'd rather do that.
If you're going to the school I think you're going to, you're probably going to take the J way to the River way to the Ava way. And you probably cut across over to Blue Hill Ave. You go through Mattapan. Maybe Cummins Highway to cut across from Rosie over to Hyde Park. And then you're gonna bang a left on Brook Road, and then that place you're going is on your right.
Roxbury Parkway, Grove Street.
They're taking you to Grove Street, yeah.
First exit onto Arbor Way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that? So I'm not going through Roxbury, I don't think. Roxbury is a red line neighborhood, so it's very difficult
I didn't
to
say
get out
Roxbury. I said Mattapan.
Oh, Mattapan. Mattapan's a red line.
Much better.
Mattapan's a red line neighborhood too, as I found out the hard way.
You're spending some time on Blue Hill Ave on a Friday. There's gonna be traffic.
Oh, well, you live down there, so I mean you lived in the Mattapan area. There's no question about it.
About a mile away.
I told
2
you
miles,
that when we were in Dorchester, they shut down all the roads around which was not uncommon, but they shut them all down one day on the way back from the station.
Yeah.
And
is that the one where you wound up at Northeastern with dead ends in your face?
I was like, this couldn't be more of a red line neighborhood. I've never seen one in my entire life. I've heard about them.
Remember this story.
But there's never been more of there was no getting out of Roxbury. Like, there was no getting out of it. Like, so I could have walked from where I was in Roxbury to Route 9 in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But the roads don't go to Route 9 because they don't want to. They when they designed it, they're like, no.
Yeah.
This is too easy. It's too easy to get the people to and fro. It's like in Atlanta, like they won't build the train system out into the suburbs, and the reason is they think the blacks will get out there. That's what the whole thing is. I mean, there's a million excuses why, but the real reason is they don't want. They think that magically, if people can get on a train to the suburbs, all they're going to want to do is go to Alpharetta. Like, they can't. That everyone in the city is going to be like, the only thing that stopped me from going to Alpharetta is the lack of a train. Yeah. Like, it's pretty funny. So, but these red line neighborhoods, it is true. It is something. You can Google it. And it's in cities like New York and Boston. They have these red line neighborhoods where they made them like mazes. So you deliberately it's like you don't, they're removed from the rest of the city.
Yeah.
And that was something else. It was the GPS was having me drive, and then I was driving like into buildings. It had me driving into buildings. I got so pissed off.
You can imagine how he felt the next morning, Hardy.
I got so pissed off, my hands froze. I was gripping the wheel so tight that my hands like cramped up, and I couldn't, and I like was like the palsy, like something. Like I had like my hand was like this, like I couldn't move it. I was so pissed off. I was gripping the wheel. Because what they do in Dorchester is they would say, this road's closed. This road's closed.
Just closed.
Yeah, just closed.
Yeah.
It's closed. We're doing some work. Don't worry about it. I would be going the wrong way down one-way roads. I mean, there was no getting out of there.
Yeah, there's a flood. We can't heavy code through here. Yeah.
I mean, those neighborhoods weren't bad or anything, like around the station. No. They were fine. But the thing is,
they're mazes.
Yes. And they're all one way. And then they would shut a road down. And so I would end up going the wrong way. I would be like, I don't know how to do it. So I just go the wrong way down a one-way road. One time a cop saw me and he just waved. He was like, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
You do what you got to do to get out of here. If you need to get out of here, get out of here. Because the alternative was to get on 93 and then just sit.
Yeah.
That was the alternative. You could sit on 93.
And that's 100% of the time.
Yeah. So you could
Doesn't
sit on
matter what
93. Well, you look now. If they show the traffic, that's the only place that's red.
That's what brought it. That's what brought it up.
Yeah.
Here's
So
the traffic. Look out. It's coming at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In your face.
Carrie?
Yeah, hey, morning, Fred. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Carrie.
Hey, so I got a little a Mattapan story, and Hardy, you'll love this too, because my occupation, I run heavy equipment. I run, and I was running an excavator that day.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, it was pretty fun. It was we were demolishing a building, and I had there was a decent workbench in there, you know, and it was all steel. It was a nice one, you know, and I was going to save it, you know, I was going to bring it home. I set it aside. I didn't have my truck that day, so I set it aside, and it's in the area, you know, it's chained in, you know, temp fence all around there. It's all chained in and stuff. It's locked up. Somebody stole the workbench that night. And I went back. When I came to work the next day, it was gone. I was so mad.
Was it Snap-on? What was it?
No, it wasn't even. You know what? I think it was. It didn't say the make on it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I'm not some kind of brand slut. You know, you're just you know, a nice bench is a nice bench. That's a shame. You find like that. Now, did you have a place already picked out for it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
the worst.
That's the one. Oh, it's great. I'm telling you, Hardy. That's the great thing about, you know, working construction, and especially, you know, you're running a machine. I got so much great stuff. I got an oil tank for my house, and we demoed a house. The oil tank was like brand new. I saved it, brought it home. Now I got like a nice new oil tank.
I have a confession, Carrie. I stole your workbench. Why, you ask? To make a milking table. To make a milking table. Where I could stand anonymously. I could lay anonymously upon my belly and put myself through a hole and then have a stranger milk.
Yeah.
But I have a guy I know that is, I wouldn't say a friend, a guy I know that was doing all this like refurbishing houses in like Roxbury and Dorchester, like all that stuff. And he said that one time they were on, and maybe this is what the guy told me. Maybe this is like an old wives' tale, but he told me this. He said one time they were up on like this roof, and they were painting or whatever, and a guy came, and these guys came and took the ladder, and they're like, if you want me to put the ladder back, throw down your wallets. So whatever that happens, and he says then like a year later, someone tried it again, and one of the dudes just saw it about to happen and just slid down the ladder and started running at the guys. And
nice.
The guys took off. Yeah, he said it was like a great feeling of victory. And then he made a milking table.
Right.
Are you aware of a milking table?
I got
hole? One hole. Not for your face.
No.
That would ruin the anonymity.
Right.
A buddy was doing a rehab, I think over in JP, and he was upstairs, and they were throwing stuff out the window down into the dumpster, and he sees somebody in the dumpster, like just feet up, like digging out, you know, copper wire, whatever they can find, and he goes to yell at him, and who is it? It is his own 80-year-old father who knew where they were working that day, and he starts yelling back up at him. He's like, "Dad, what are you doing? I almost threw like an old toilet down on you. Oh, you dumb son of a bitch. There's good copper wire in here. I'm going to take it out of here. No. You just go about your business." Gosh. I'm like, this is my business. I'm trying to work here.
Yeah, well, listen, you got to get that copper wire. When I was in Atlanta, in my apartment complex, one time I went to go throw something in the dumpster, and there was a guy who just went, "Hello." That's true. He goes, "Hello," and I'm like, "Hi."
Who's he? Who's he?
And I was living with Stephanie at the time, and so I was like, "Stephanie, can you throw this in the dumpster?" She goes, "Why?" And then,
Yeah.
So I went through that whole thing, and then she finally did it, and oh, did he scare her? He was living in the dumpster for like a week.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't like that.
No.
It was more like, Hello. No, but he just goes, hey, and he had like a big smile on his face when I came. Like he was waiting for people to come, but he was living in the dumpster.
Huh.
He was like Oscar the Grouch. He was a dumpster guy. Well, look, we all have stories, but that's what I'm doing. Anyway, so Bob asked me the question. He said,
so why not go out after the game tonight? Game will be over about 7:30.
So what would I mean, I'm not like really dating anyone. I'm not going to, I talk to people, but there's no one, I don't want to go out on Valentine's Day if I don't have to.
And that was the part of the conversation I overheard. It was Bob asking you if you had a date tonight. He wasn't asking you if you were going out. He wanted some details. He wanted, I think there's a little bit of vicarious living going on with our.
There's a lot of vicarious living, and I'm not afraid to share off air. I will tell you anything you need to know. I take great joy in it.
Yeah, but not out of bounds. You're not, kissing and telling.
Well, no one knows who I'm talking about, so it doesn't matter. If I just tell the story and they don't know the person, then it doesn't matter.
Right.
I mean, nothing like that crazy has happened. I mean, you guys have seen the most outrageous things. That was the most crazy one was happening in real time on the show. Remember when I would show you those pictures?
Yes. That was very nice.
I missed those days.
It was very nice. I kind of enjoyed that.
That was
day.
a fun. That wasn't a day. That was like 2 months.
I enjoyed
it. Was a fun 2 months.
I know, but I enjoyed that particular day.
If only everyone was like that. No, it was every morning for 2 months.
Ugh.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I'm not really seeing anyone. I'm not going to go on a first date on the. I mean, the people that I know, I'm not. I don't want to go out at 8:30 at night. I'm an old man.
No, I don't blame you. By the way, I woke up this morning and thought it was Saturday. I was so happy because I thought I was going to go back to sleep. And it took me a moment. And then Wallach told me a story, which I have trouble believing, but he said it with such earnestness.
Yeah.
And he's told the story before. Do you know about the time when you guys first started?
Yes.
Wallach?
Yes. I woke up. My alarm didn't go off, and I turned over. It was 5:15 in the morning. I'm like, oh, crap. So you throw on your clothes and you head into work, and I turn on the radio, and it was a substitute host of the overnight show, and this was back when Sports Through Religion, and that guy was on, and I'm like, oh, that guy isn't on tonight. And I'm like, what's going on? And I get about halfway to the station, which is Brighton, and I suddenly realized that it was Saturday morning.
Yeah.
And I turned around and went home. I was so pissed at myself. Turned around and went home.
That's terrifying.
Yes, it was bad.
It's not. I totally believe it because almost every weekend I have to have I'll get up, not get up, but like I'll open my eyes and it will be 4:30, 5:15.
Yep.
And I'll go. I'll have to do the mental exercise of this is the weekend.
Right.
And then it's a crapshoot if I'm going to be able to go get steady sleep after that, or if I'm just going to be laying in bed for 4 hours.
You lay in bed for 4 hours. Speaking for myself, I can't get back to bed.
There are some magical mornings where I can sleep until like noon.
The second sleep is always heavier than the first one too. That if you manage to go back to bed and get back to sleep, that is far more restful than the first time you went to bed. For some reason, it's weird.
Well, the dreams when you're doing a morning show, I don't know if Hardy's experienced this yet, but the dreams are very odd and very vivid. They just, I wake up because I have to pee 3 times a night.
Yeah.
So I'll wake up and then I'll be like, it takes me 5 seconds to get my brain to go, what the hell was just going on? What the hell were you thinking about? I had a dream about Juliana Hedfield last night.
Oh.
And it wasn't sexual. It was just weird. It was just, it was not sexual. It didn't matter if she was a woman or a man. It was just Juliana Hatfield. I don't know anything about Juliana Hatfield. I don't watch her videos. I haven't thought about her in forever. And it was just this, Juliana Hatfield was hanging around. And it wasn't pleasant. And it wasn't anything she did. I just woke up feeling bad about myself.
It's interesting you bring that up. It's interesting you bring that up because I had a dream about Lisa Loeb the other night. And I think we had a woman in here that looked like Lisa Loeb when we did our contest.
Your brain was telling you.
Brain kind of flipped it. So, yes, I had a dream about Lisa Loeb. Yeah.
The lady from the ska band. There you go. All right, well, look. What happened last night? Not a lot. I'll be honest with you. but we will fill the time to the best of our abilities. Everyone's going crazy about this Bregman trade. I couldn't care less.
For the first time in 5 years, we have hope, Fred, if you're a Red Sox
Yeah, but
fan.
that's the end of the story. Like, yeah, I mean, there was the dumb picture that John Henry's wife took. That's really the only interesting thing, because anything other than like, okay, that's a pretty good signing, and then people are like, he picked them over Detroit. Yeah, kinda, but maybe he's betting on himself because he's 3 years more more average money. And then he bets on himself to get a second contract. AAV. Thank you. AAV. You know, and then he bets on himself to get a second contract. So I don't know if he was eschewing Detroit to go to Boston, but maybe he was. But I mean,
Detroit gave him 6 years. I mean, that's pretty good when you're in your 30s.
Yeah, but maybe, I don't know. Maybe he wanted I don't know. But maybe he did choose Boston. But whatever. It doesn't. I don't know. Sometimes it is what it is. Like, you know, you sign someone and that's it. There's not so much more to say about it.
Where's he going to play? Is he going to play at second base the entire season? Where's he going to hit in the order, Fred? Is he going to hit second?
I'm going
to break up Durant so we don't have back-to-back lefties?
Maybe it's because I'm around baseball constantly. It's just like, it's so long. Like, it's just, you can't, it's not like other sports. You can't go crazy about things. Like,
you're gonna hit him sixth. I mean, there are so many possibilities.
I mean, you're
I'm
much better.
Crazy just thinking about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's like I mean, just it is what it is. It's a nice signing.
It's a Gold Glove third baseman playing second base. Why not move Devers to DH and sit Yoshida, Fred? There are a lot of possibilities here.
Well, Devers is not going to want a DH. I'll tell you that.
I know, and that's another problem. Why won't he? It's best for the team, but a best defensive lineup on the field.
It is a big problem. I will tell you that. That's going to be the death of this team.
Alex Cora loves Bregman.
I mean, my God.
Don't steal my thunder because so precious little happened last night. One of the things is Alex Cora spoke about it. So we'll do that
very
next.
good. I will not harsh your mellow. All right, we'll be right, as you already said this morning. All right, we'll be right back. had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Did you catch a game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. What happened last night is brought to you by Leonard Hair Transplant Associates, where your hair doesn't have to be a game of what happened. So change your lettuce and change your life with Dr. Matthew Lepresti at 1-800-GET-HAIR.
Red Sox spring training underway. Pitchers and catchers had their first workout on Wednesday, and yesterday Alex Cora took some time to speak to the media, kind of, about the team's latest acquisition. So, Skip, let's start with your owner there, John Henry. That was fun with him smoking that cigar, huh?
Alex, did you happen to see Linda Pizzuti's Instagram post of John smoking a cigar?
Yeah, he was upset about the non-call Mo Salah, minute 95 yesterday.
Yeah,
Should be a penalty, obviously. Everton took the ball the other way, and they scored, and they draw that game.
Yeah, that's
See,
the
what
way
he
everyone
did-
else took it too.
What he did was he made a Liverpool joke, because apparently something happened with the Liverpool game yesterday. 2 days ago. I'm not sure what that was supposed to be. Didn't go over great.
No.
What else do you have on that?
That's the reason he was smoking the cigar.
Yeah.
So it was not a red Auerbach celebratory moment?
No, he was more upset about the match that happened before.
Of course.
All right, so he's setting up how he is not going to speak about Alex Bregman. He's just, no, I can't.
What does he bring to the room? What can he bring to the room to get the offense?
I mean, let's not talk about that right now. You know, I cannot talk about, that situation. The front office is still working hard on that, so when we get there, we'll get there.
Okay. Well, we were talking earlier. Would Bregman end up
I
playing?
cannot talk about it.
Would he end up playing second base?
In 17, I mean, the way he moved his feet, at that time it was the size, I never thought that he was going to be a gold glove third baseman, but it kind of like, I saw it, I was like, man, this kid is going to be good at second. It just happened that, the guy that's playing second for the Houston Astros, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
All right, so.
But I don't want to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
He likes having the kids at second.
Nothing has changed yet. We'll have our plans with them. We're gonna use them the way we feel we can maximize their talent, and we'll see where it takes us.
All right,
and talk about it. Altuve is their second baseman.
Yes.
In case you didn't know.
Altuve may wind up moving to left. This year.
He's very tiny. He won't be able to catch. He won't be able to rob those home runs
unless somebody can't play a position. Unless you've got somebody completely inept at third.
Yep.
Or someone who is not a shortstop. You got him playing short anyway. That
was the Red Sox the last 5 years.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But beyond that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead, put together your infield. Do you have guys who can play multiple positions? Have played them before? Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Way more interested in the order and the lineup that way. You want to put Altuve out and left? Go ahead.
162 games, you play a guy out of position. That's going to cost you 4 or 5 games. I'm just telling you now that you play a guy out of position.
I'm going to consult Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin on that, because I'm sure he has the actual statistical data.
Was on
how many games it'll cost you.
Oh, just ask
I was thinking about that.
He was on with Joe last night.
I was thinking about how much Tyler Milliken's baseball experience. It's funny because it goes to like numbers versus like actually experiencing it. I was thinking about that yesterday because I heard Tyler Milliken's cousin's cousin on one of the shows I was going when I was out, and I was thinking like, does Tyler Milliken just like follow the game like on the computer? So, like, what are his bona fides? Like, I find that interesting to me.
He had more stats last night. He was on with Joe, and with Joe, of course, the conversation's a little loose at times.
Yeah.
So Joe had him on talking about Bregman. Tyler Milliken spoke for maybe 8 or 9 minutes without stopping.
Yeah,
about,
Joe
about Bregman.
And Murray didn't interrupt him?
Nope.
No.
Just let her rip, baby.
No, Joe had a snack and a cigarette.
It was, and then there was the conversation about the 99 and what kind of appetizers he eats. But,
so so the idea is you just collect as many statistics as you can find, and then you spout them out. Okay, I think it's interesting. I wonder. Because I would think even analytics people that are making decisions for Major League Baseball teams are like on the field.
Yeah.
Like they're around, like they're at spring training right now, like kind of like poking around.
Actually watching balls hitting bats.
Right. Like there is what happens in the game, but then there is a tremendous, probably 10 times, 20 times more things that go on outside of the actual gameplay. I find it interesting. But listen, we are living in a numbers world. And if that's what floats your boat, that's great.
Right. But just for the sake of argument, Fred, and I'm not dismissing what you said. I'm not even arguing against it. But I wonder if you've got Bregman at second, and that's really not where he should be playing. Might that end up costing you?
No, because he's a decent fielder. I'm talking about if you're putting a guy like I've seen it. If you put a guy in left field that has no outfield experience, that's gonna no. Bregman be able to play second base.
All right.
You can play if you play third base. You can play second base.
Yeah.
It's easier. Well, I think it's easier
I
because you don't have to make that
I
throw.
guess if you had like Altuve in left and he either can't handle the wall in left or for some reason he's just not playing the position well, you wouldn't keep him there all season. They would make a change at some point.
Yeah, I mean, there's
so.
guys like Manny Ramirez that you just go, whatever. I mean, I got to put him out there, and he's going to do what he...
Manny was a right fielder his entire career in Cleveland, and you've seen the way right field is at Fenway Park. We're not putting you out there.
Yeah.
We're gonna put you in a place where the ball comes back.
But that's also a guy that would take a leak during the inning, like
Yes.
during gameplay, would go like just take a leak. So with Manny Ramirez, one of the top hitters of all time, you say, all right, well, okay. I got to put him out there, and he's going to do some stupid crap, but whatever. But if you start playing a bunch of guys or a guy out of position, it's going to cost you a couple wins, 2-3 wins. And if you look at WAR, if you believe in the WAR stat, like what's a really high WAR?
What is it good for?
For a seaon?
5, 6, 7.
Yeah. So if you
Trout
think,
was an 8 or a 9 during his heyday.
So if you think that if like an elite, $50 million a year player is making is worth 8 wins, and I'm playing a guy at a position and that costs me 2 wins, I'm talking about a $50 million difference. $20 million difference.
Truth be told, Bregman should be at third, and Devers should be the DH. That's how this team would probably be best suited.
Right.
However, it's not going to start that way.
No, and Devers is a bad third baseman, and I don't care what the statistics say, he's a bad third baseman, and he probably wants to play in the field, and they probably think he's young and just whatever, just keep him in the game, that he's not maybe suited to be a DH yet. So maybe they've made that decision. I don't know. Devers isn't a bad enough third baseman to justify, like it's not indefensible to have him out there, but he's not a good third baseman.
But he's bad enough to the point where I, watching the game just anecdotally, will say, oh, that's not a great play there.
He's barely climbed over that line where you're like, okay, maybe now he can field 75% of the grounders hit to him. There was a time 2 or 3 years ago where he was far and away the leader in errors at third base in the majors.
Right.
It wasn't even close. Now he's worked hard enough to improve to the point where he is now maybe a 3 or a 4 out of 10 at third.
The funniest Devers story is my son and I were behind the Red Sox dugout, like one of the rows behind the Red Sox dugout, and Devers was coming off the field, and he had the ball, and he looked right at my son and pointed at him.
Yeah,
my son, and then went to throw the ball to him, and the ball ended up like 5 people over.
That's right.
Like he couldn't throw on the run.
That's too hard. That's too easy.
And my son was like, "What happened? What happened? He did that on purpose." And I'm like, "No, he didn't.
He did not.
No, he didn't.
That's pretty bad.
No, like some like fat old guy caught it. Like it was. No, I don't think he did that on purpose. I
Well,
don't
maybe
think
he's got the
screwing with you.
yips. He's like Lester throwing over to first. He just can't do that one simple action.
You can't throw to first?
Well, that is the equivalent. Tossing a ball to the kid in the stands is like Lester not being able to throw over to first to get the runner back. All right, do you want to get into this Four Nations face-off now, or do you want to push it?
No, like a fine wine.
That deserves a segment unto itself.
I mean, that's the tease in itself. What happened during the Four Nations last night?
I'll say this much.
Don't look at your phones.
I'll say this much. The United States played Finland. And you know who the crowd was cheering for? Tough to say. I'm going to say neither one. That was the sense I got watching the game. It was kind of an odd situation for those fans.
Well, the Canadian fans, the notorious. They're all upset Sum 41 played their last show. There's a lot going on. I mean, we no longer have Neil Peart. There's a lot of stuff going on in Canada. That's what's happening. The high off of Schitt's Creek in the Levy family has now we know that Levy not a star. You know, you thought Dan Levy was going to be a star. He's not so much a star. What has he done? There's not a big comedy boom right now. There is stand up, but not for comedic actors. So you thought, Canada embraced Dan Levy, and they said Schitt's Creek is this powerhouse. What's next for this kid? He's hosting Saturday Night Live, and now he's gone, and that's got them scrambling. Then Derek Wembley calls it a quits on Sum 41.
They get teased. Alanis has her Jagged Little Pill on Broadway, and they're feeling good about themselves for a while, but who's going to go to a Broadway show, really?
And Coulier is a Red Wing fan, and that's who that album doesn't happen if it's not for Coulier. Right. The Coulier. Hey, I like how you let us have her, too. All right, very good. We'll be back in just a moment.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Well, let's start with the Four Nations face-off. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk both skated on the same line, and they both scored 2 goals in a 6-1 Team USA win over Finland and Montreal. Matt Boldy and Jake Gensel also scored. The U.S. plays Canada tomorrow night. Less than 48 hours after signing with the Red Sox, Alex Bregman reportedly expected to arrive in Red Sox spring training in Fort Myers today. NBA All-Star Weekend begins tonight in San Francisco with the Rising Stars Tournament. The Celtics' J.D. Davidson, one of the G League players participating. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Celsius Energy Drinks. Refresh your energy with zero sugar, essential vitamins, and proven ingredients.
ski area. Spend your February vacation skiing, tubing, dining, dancing, and celebrating. Right? By the Fireplace at Boston's own Winter Playland, Neshoba Valley Ski Area in Westford, Mass. Get your passes at skineshoba.com. All right. You mentioned something about a little hockey game we might be
Four
interested
Nations
in?
face-off continued
got that
last
right.
night. We got Four Nations. We have Mexico. We have the United States, obviously. We have
Virgin Islands.
no.
Greece.
Finland and somebody.
Sweden.
There's going to be a World Cup of hockey, and they're saying that there's going to be at least like whatever many nations.
8.
Russia can't play in that, right? Like they're not going to let Russia play in that, are they?
Depends on where we are.
Well, they say they blew up Chernobyl last night. I'm going to guess
3
that
years.
that they're not going to have Russia
The
participate.
tournament isn't until 2028, so there's some time for Russia to get their way back into it.
I was thinking just last night about a movie called No Retreat, No Surrender. And it may have been Jean-Claude Van Damme's first movie. And it is it's like a martial arts film.
It is?
Yeah, and the American who's going up against Jean-Claude at the end and the, climactic portion of the film. This is after the training sequence where his young urban friend from the neighborhood comes over and starts breakdancing in front of him while he's trying to train. But during the climactic final fight, Jean-Claude Van Damme plays a Russian. And he looks over at the American kid in this No Retreat, No Surrender, and he goes, "You're good." And the kid says, "I get better, Russian." And that sends Jean-Claude Van Damme into a furious rage. How dare you?
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to be playing. Anyway, no, it was U.S. and Finland last night. Those damn Finns struck first.
Off the feed from Lundell and a one-touch Oli Mata through center. Across the line. The drag by Gramlin. Shot. Score! Lights the lamp with a wrister that beats Hellebuck.
And now to say that name again for us, John Wallach.
Yoki Haru.
Very good.
Thank you. Hellebuck?
I know, but I want to say Henri whenever I see the Henri. Henri.
Henri Yoki Haru.
Okay, very good. All right, so that was 7:31 into the first. Wouldn't take long, though, for the U.S. to equalize.
Pat Boldy skates onto it in the corner. Centering pass, Kachuk. Check from behind. Tries a bank shot. Score! Brady Kachuk banked it off UC Soros.
I'm glad he said which one, because there are two of them Kachucks playing last night. There was Brady Kachuk, and there was his brother.
Zone entry. Score! Long wrister from Kachuk. Just like that.
That would be Matthew to make it 3-1 U.S.
Skated on the same line.
How about that?
Matthew and Brady.
All right, so you got Brady scoring, then you got Matthew scoring. Who's going to score next?
Eichel to Kachuk. Score! Second of the game for Brady Kachuk.
That's fun, but now Matthew's feeling a little, he's feeling a little puny. Is he going to be able to match what his brother did?
It's back to Eichel. Gets a return. Orensky shoots. Score on the rebound. The second on the power play for Matthew Kachuk.
2 goals for Brady Kachuk, 2 goals for Matthew Kachuk as the U.S. gets the win over Finland 6-1 in the Four Nations face-off thing there at Montreal. There you go.
Big matchup tomorrow night. U.S. and Canada in Montreal. Big matchup. Huge.
Yeah, I mean this is the one that you kind of sit through these first 2 games, but that's the one you want to see.
U.S. has the best goaltender, so they got a chance.
Yeah. So a Hellebuck in net last night, 20 saves.
Yeah.
Only faced
Won the
21
Vezina
shots.
Trophy last year. He might win it again this year. He's the best goaltender on the planet right this second. So obviously, Team Canada is loaded with great forwards. But U.S. has a good chance.
Yeah. So there you go. There's your Four Nations.
They booed the
face-off
national
out there.
anthem.
They did. So I don't know if you're opposed to playing this, Fred. I find the whole thing offensive. But I guess.
Well, if you're thinking about, if you're on the fence about playing the news, I would lay off of it. You don't want to play something that happened.
You're right.
People will think that you're the one booing.
You're right. We have to.
They'll think there was somehow an arena last night with the national anthem playing and that we're booing it.
Maybe the best way to ensure this never happens again is to let's not forget this happened.
I wish I was going to Tennessee this week so I could hear. Well, that's hockey, so they probably wouldn't talk about it. But if it somehow made like Fox News, my parents' friends would have something to say. They're the same people that said they were never going to watch football again after the Colin Kaepernick thing.
So what have they been watching every Sunday since then?
They've been recovering from University of Tennessee losing the first round of the playoff.
They've been watching football like we all knew they would.
No, I know.
Every single game.
But it was like 2 years ago. I was playing golf with my dad and these two guys. We got paired up with them. And, you start playing, and they're like, what do you do for a living? I'm like, I'm on Sports Talk Radio. And they go, what do you think of that Kaepernick thing? And it was like, I haven't thought about that in 10 years. This is still on top of mind when you think sports.
When did they ask you this?
2 years ago. Legit, and I know for a fact it was 2 years ago. It was 2 years ago.
Come on.
Wow.
Yeah. They were like, what do you think about that Kaepernick thing? And I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
I actually, because usually I'll just be like, oh, yeah, because I'm with my dad. But I was like, what? Like the Kaepernick thing. What did you think about the Kaepernick thing? And I'm like, from when? And like, when he wouldn't stand up for the anthem. I go, I haven't thought about it in forever.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
Well,
That's still bugging you?
The U.S. players are leaning into their Americanism. This is their goal. Guitar solo from Freebird is the goal song.
And somewhere Kendra is very excited because that's Jacksonville's own Leonard Skinner.
Oh. She liked Limp Bizkit too? Who else from Jacksonville?
Limp Bizkit and Leonard Skinner, that's it.
Petty?
Petty's from Gainesville.
Oh, all right. Bite my head off.
I mean, I thought you would know, considering that you like the man. Maybe do some research. Maybe get a little more than a...
So good.
Really is. That's such an awesome riff.
38 special, apparently.
That just gave me like...
Well, that's Leonard Skinner.
Bad flashback.
38 specials, Leonard Skinner without the dead guy. The dead guy's brother is the singer of 38 specials.
We have
What a riff. Yeah! It's the best riff.
Molly Hatchet, apparently.
That's got to be a little bit of Leonard Skinner too.
And Shinedown.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
Shinedown.
Shinedown from Jacksonville.
What song did Shinedown sing?
45.
Really bad one.
What was how'd it go?
Barrel of 45. 45.
I don't know if we played that, but we played Shinedown.
We did. And
they covered Simple Man by Skinner, which is like so on the nose.
No, I didn't see that either.
I had to play Shinedown so much on that Turbo channel on satellite, and every single time I refused to call them, I called them Shinebox. And people did not like that.
No.
But as
people, they were storming
all
the gates.
Three of their fans?
People?
Well, the Turbo Nation. Come on.
Okay.
It's a real thing.
Because that's a station where it kicks it into another gear.
Yeah.
You think you're going fast.
This is Shinebox. It's called Fly from the Inside.
Yeah!
Is this really the song?
Not the karaoke version. That's how it goes.
Jesus Christ. Oh, I wonder if Alice in Chains had a slight bit of influence on this. They might be a lawsuit. This is wood.
It is the chord. It sounds like the chord changes, maybe in a different key.
This is the song?
This has to be the karaoke version.
This got to be like an edit of it.
All right. Caller number 10 to the contest line is 617-931-0985. We'll score a pair of tubing passes and get a $50 gift card from the Neshoba Valley Ski Area.
Hell yeah.
Spend your February vacation skiing, tubing, dining, dancing, and celebrating by the fireplace at Boston's own Winter Playland. Neshoba Valley Ski Area in Westford, Mass. Get your passes at skineshoba.com. I don't remember that song. All right, we'll be back with the great Albert Breer, plus some news from the Belichick camp. that he is really, 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 really got to be upsetting his family. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Toucher and
years have kind of gotten to experience that and are looking forward to doing that here.
All position players are due to report by the end of the weekend. And in football news, the New York Jets officially announced yesterday Aaron Rodgers will not be back next season. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Rapid Flow Sewer and Drain Cleaning, Boston's most experienced drain company, celebrating 40 years. Do what Beetle did. Get the permanent fix with no-dig pipelining technology. 800-286-FLOW or rapidflowinc.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Excuse me. Your next update, 7:30.
Start your day.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Work through your day.
What's that thing we do at the end of the show?
And end your day.
I'm not giving you an opinion. I don't know.
Right here, 98.5 The Sports Hub. What's the best way to listen to Toucher and Hardy?
Well, you're going to have to spend $40.
Cough it up, and let's get back to Toucher and Hardy.
I'm completely addicted to watching the videos. There's all these videos of Serena Williams out with Kendrick Lamar during the halftime show, and she's apparently doing something called the Crip Walk, the dance she's doing, and you didn't know it was the Crip Walk either, whoever's listening. You didn't know. And you had no idea what she was doing, and you don't pretend now that you do. But
I didn't.
Yeah. So she's wearing all blue. She's wearing the Crip colors, and she's doing the Crip Walk. Now, I know she dated Drake, apparently, and so this was like a slap in the face to Drake. But are we supposed to believe that Serena Williams was somehow affiliated with the Crips? She's a Jehovah's Witness whose father, according to the movie, had her playing tennis 12 hours a day, and then she was playing professional tennis at like 12. When was she a Crip? Go ahead.
Well, Ryan, she wasn't, but Ryan just informed me apparently she's done this Crip Walk before in celebration after winning a big tennis match. She's done it a few times. So
don't ever remember that.
Part of her.
Well, sure, fine, but I understand that she's like from the area in that she lived
in Compton.
In Compton.
Yeah.
But she just geographically was there. I can't imagine that. It seems like she was very protected from that.
I mean, but is everybody... I mean, I know what you're saying, and it's probably one of those don't mess with her type situations. You know what I mean? Like where there's like some kid who's a prodigy, and everybody just trouble stay away from her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But is it one of those things where everybody? This is going to make me sound like the whitest person alive, but is it like one of those situations where everybody who's from there is affiliated with one or the other? Whether they're part of it or not.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
right. There are I know that there are artists, like rap artists, that are just by geography affiliated with the gang. Like they can claim to be Crips, but they've never been like in the gang.
Right.
I do understand that, but and I don't have an issue with her doing it. But it if all the people like doing that, I mean, it's just you're grandfathered into the. And if you watch the movie which spawned Will Smith to slap Chris Rock,
right,
in one of the great moments in live
I
television.
actually really liked the movie. Thought that movie was good.
I thought it was fine, and I don't know why he won an Oscar, except for the fact that he was going to win the Oscar come hell or high water because they wouldn't kick him out of that room even after he assaulted a guy. But Chris Rock didn't want him removed, so you can't arrest him. Like if Bert was to hit me slap me with the butt of a gun right here on camera.
Yeah.
As long as I said it was okay.
And the cop showed up.
As long as you said it was okay.
And the cop showed up and I'm like, no, it's okay. They would be like, all right, well, we're not going to do this. If he did it on TV, no, don't worry about it.
Bert can finish the show. He's fine.
All right, but anyway, so yes, I have heard that. I've heard because I don't think Kendrick Lamar was in the Crips. Like Kendrick Lamar was playing shows when he was 15. He seems more like a dork than anything else. I mean, he's
but isn't that like what that whole but that's what that song "Not Like Us" is, right?
Yes.
It's funny because I see people put that up on Instagram with their youth sports team, their kids' youth sports team that just won a championship or whatever. They'll splash the "Not Like Us" song over it, which I don't know if they really know what that song is. I
guarantee you they don't.
That song is basically I think it's calling Drake, right? Saying
yes,
you act like a gangster, you're not. You know what I mean? That's what that whole song is.
No, he's also calling out the. It's more macro than that. It's not just.
It's bigger. It's everybody in rap, all these people in rap who act like they're gangsters, and
also all these people that are appropriating culture and all this stuff. All right, very good.
Glad we cleared that up.
Yes, exactly. It's good that people are waiting for our take on it. I was more interested.
Sudbury, Lexington.
I was more interested in Serena Williams just
seriously
all of a sudden being like this. Like now she's like this crip. But I don't know anything about the gangs. What I do know is about age inappropriate dating. And Bill Belichick, if you'll recall from the Super Bowl, had his 24-year-old girlfriend. He was in a Dunkin' commercial, and out of nowhere, I didn't know it was her, but everyone said, "Oh, look, that's Bill Belichick's girlfriend." So it's the Affleck brothers, who are famous actors and producers and directors.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick, who's won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, and then his girlfriend.
The philosopher.
Oh, and the guy from Severance, too, or whatever the hell the show is. Succession.
Yeah.
So there's 3
you went to high school then.
With Jeremy Strong, was that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen the commercial.
There's
yet, but
3
big vat of coffee.
3 famous actors and writers and producers. And then there's a famous head coach, and then there's the famous head coach's girlfriend. The other guy's girlfriend's not in it. Girlfriend's wife's not in the commercial. She is. We'll leave it to, what's his name? Pablo Torres? Pablo? What's this guy's name? Hey, what's this guy's? Come on, guys, get on the ball. What's this guy's name I'm playing here?
It is.
Ryan grabbed it.
Hold on for 1 second.
Pablo, honey?
I actually still haven't seen the commercial, but
it's all right.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You don't. It's not. It's
Pablo
besides.
Torre.
It's besides.
Fine, I was
point.
right. All right, here we go. This is from his podcast. It's got the lady from here who's married to Dan Soder on it, too. It's called Hedging Our Bets. They want to say these things about Bill Belichick and the relationship, but everything's like, yeah. All right, so here we go.
I just want to point this out, right? Like, her being in the Super Bowl commercial with Bill Belichick in this premise where it's like, we're the Boston Avengers and she's just there.
Yeah.
It made me very curious. How did she make it into the commercial? What I've been told is that Jordan essentially has been functioning as Bill Belichick's
momager.
Nuh-uh. That is so much better than what I was going to say, but she has represented her.
Is it? But anyway, so this woman is his 24-year-old girlfriend now, has taken control of the finances and the career, which is, if you're one of his
Do you think
family.
she picked the outfit for NFL honors for him?
No. But she just said anything to cover you up. She picked her outfit. But I'll tell you, that the whole thing is that now, if you're related to him, you got to be like, oh no, he's spiraling out of control and we're not going to get any of the money anymore. Because if she's controlling this stuff, you don't think she has her hands on that will?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That will. I mean, if you've ever known anyone who's from a family with a lot of money, these are contested things. Not only on TV
they get
and books,
nasty.
they get nasty.
Yeah.
So if anything, it's going to hold up anyone getting money for a very long time when he finally bites it. And given those man boobs, who knows how long it will be? Who's got bigger breasts? And that's a real question. Jordan or Bill Belichick? If she's Jordan Belichick, which of that power couple has the bigger breasts?
Your thoughts?
Of course, you come right to me.
That's a legitimate question.
You are here because you are an expert in the field of football. I think this is a pertinent
if it's
question.
not a
Does that
legitimate,
make me an expert in this
if
field?
it's not a legitimate question, if I had a gun to your head, could you tell me that you wouldn't get it wrong? Could you tell me that you wouldn't get it wrong if I had a gun to your head?
Sure, I'd get it wrong.
If they had a measurement,
I'm not sure. I don't know the answer to this.
Close.
It's very close.
Okay, see, there's a bona fide opinion right there.
All right, here we go.
Essentially as his de facto agent.
Okay,
the person who you need to go through to book Bill Belichick for a Super Bowl commercial or for the other commitments he has as a multi-platform personality. She's the gateway. And so in this case, Jordan happened to then use that power to be in the commercial as well.
All right, so Bert,
Is that, by the way, that pronunciation?
I don't know.
Jordan.
I think it's the first time I've heard it.
Listen, when you've matriculated in Bridgewater, you're not Jordan anymore. You're a Jordan.
I was trying to describe Bridgewater State to somebody.
I think what you got there is a host who probably says Jordan one time, but then in order to hedge his bets, he says Jordan a second time.
So at least he has it right once.
Right. That's what the whole point of the podcast is, hedging our bets.
If you want to, but you're a reporter, if he's reporting and talking to people, these people got to be going nuts about how crazy this is, right?
Oh my!
Like he's filtered.
Like
Pablo Torres is Pablo Torres is talking to people around Belichick.
On Thursday night when like the NFL honors picture came out, there were lots of text conversations going on with people that I communicate with. Some people I hadn't heard from in a while.
Yeah,
were reaching out. It was there was a lot of buzz about Jordan's outfit.
But beyond that, like if he's finding out that
and about the rings thing,
yeah. All right, so if he's found out that she's the gatekeeper, that means that the people that he's talking to are like, dude, this is insane. This woman is like the person you have to go through to get the bill.
That's crazy. Like, isn't it like that? Huh? Like, do you think? I would love to know what like Amanda and Steve and Brian think about this.
Oh, I can't imagine they're happy.
Because that's generally like that's generally where the rivalry happens, is with the person's kids and then the woman, right?
Yeah. And I gotta believe they were close to Linda Holiday and stuff. You gotta think that they like seems like a good person. Like,
and she probably built a relationship with them.
Yeah, I mean, they were together probably like their entire youth. So yeah, she probably had a pretty good relationship with him. I would imagine this is all very strange, to say the least. Like if my dad, say my dad's 82 and he started banging. He started banging like a 32-year-old.
Yeah,
I would be like, oh wow. Like, I would be like, oh no. And then my father obviously is same wealth as Bill Belichick, but if I would be like, well, I'm not getting money now. Like there's like,
yeah,
I'm an only child who will receive nothing. Like that's out the window. Like anything I hope to receive is now gone.
If you're the Belichick brothers, Brian and Steven, who are now both at North Carolina and have a front row seat to that, what is their life like?
Maybe they're keeping an eye on them. Like I wonder if they're doing it to keep an eye on them. I don't know.
Maybe.
Now I'm just speculating wildly. But all it took to bring Belichick down, think about it. All it took was, I think Linda Holiday's better looking, by the way. If you were to give me, if you said who I found more attractive, I haven't seen Linda Holiday in a couple of years. I would prefer Linda Holiday. I'm not lying either.
At that age, you should not look like you've already had work done. She looks like she's on.
Jordan, you're saying, yeah.
Yeah.
So she's got a very harsh look to her, like a very
like a Cruella de Vil. Like,
how dare you? But it is a very harsh, lots of sharp edges and lines going on. But I think that's more of a compliment to women.
Sharp edges.
This is very sharp. Split stone.
It's very pointy.
All right. I'm being subtle and you're hitting us over the head with it. All right, so here we go. Pablo Torres.
Yeah, you're out of line, Bert.
Yeah, Bert, how dare you?
Bill Belichick is doing literally the opposite of what he used to do.
Yeah, when you make moves this way, when we're already going, you're how much younger than him? And then you see her show up in a commercial.
In the commercial.
And then you hear that she's in charge of his career. That's when you go, okay, these are all also the traits of somebody who would be here for the wrong reasons. I need to see some of the traits that are evidence that you are here for the right reasons. It seems like you could be taking advantage of the guy.
Katie, no one wants answers.
But she hedges the bets like 100 times too. I like Katie a lot, Katie Nolan a lot, but she just like
she wants answers here.
But she hedges it. Like I'm not saying that there's not a real relationship. Yes, you are. It's not a real relationship. It's weird, and all it took to bring him down. Well, my point with Linda Holiday is that he had an attractive girlfriend, right? It doesn't matter how old she is. He had an attractive girlfriend. So it's not like Bill was like alone, like he was in this marriage for 60 years that he was miserable in and finally found the love of a woman. Like Bill Belichick was with an attractive woman. All it took was this one girl to crumple the empire. It's really fascinating.
It's interesting too, because somebody pointed this out to me. I've never heard. Have you heard of what a meet-iversary is?
Yes. I can figure it out. It implies that they or infers, or I don't know.
When you first met somebody. So, like, somebody pointed this out to me the other day. They were studying the Instagram situation. That she put up that her meet-iversary with him was like 4 years ago in early 2021. And so this person perceived that as kind of a catty shot at Linda Holiday. Like, hey, look, This has been going on since
COVID.
Like, so.
How dare she?
I don't know when the Linda Bill split happened, but like it looks like this started happening like well before this split.
Well, they met while he was with her. There's no question about that.
Right, there's no question about that, but it looks like it was like.
Yeah, and then they were in New Orleans together because remember when the photo came out of him at dinner with the girl in New Orleans?
Are we sure that's the same one?
Yes, because and everyone's like, that's a cheerleader. He's in New Orleans with a cheerleader. That was her. And now they're engaged, which Machi. Was what people are saying.
Apparently, Linda.
Well, if they're actually engaged, then that's where like the stuff you're talking about comes into play. Because now we're talking about where the money's going.
So I've always been on Jordan's side in this. Like, do whatever you want, but why would you want to put yourself in a Dunkin' commercial? Like, why would you want that? Like,
because
how does that benefit
it's
you?
That generation, they care about that stuff, about clout and attention, and clearly she does, right?
So. Just the idea that you're in a Dunkin' commercial because you're having sex with a 74-year-old, and you don't belong in it, and there's no reason for you to be in it.
She cares about it getting attention.
Yes, but it doesn't matter what kind of attention, Bert. But the point is this: it doesn't matter what kind of attention as long as it's attention.
Linda was with him for a much longer period of time, and
16 years.
Yeah, and I mean, like, I'm not saying she didn't like the attention of it, like.
But that's you're diverting from the point.
But she was never putting herself in those situations where she was like, I have to be in a commercial or I have to be in
because normal people don't do that.
Because she has some dignity.
My point, my point, which you won't let me get through. My point is, if she wants to be in the commercial and you're saying it's just clout chasing, how is it clout chasing? So why would you put yourself in a commercial where you're announcing to 150 million people? The only reason I'm in this commercial is because I'm having sex with this old fat guy. Like, it's just, you might as well put a porn out.
I think for that generation, though, clout is clout. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's...
Well, that's a sad state of affairs. If there's, like, no, like
I don't know.
It doesn't matter at all.
Notoriety of any kind. That's worth it.
I mean, like, I think it's sort of it.
Who is that?
You know?
Do you know who that person is?
Then why is there all this canceling or quote-unquote canceling? Why is there all this canceling and stuff, which it doesn't really end up being canceling? But why can you take away someone's career for saying something offensive, but then you don't care how anyone gets attention?
Because that's the backlash of it. Like, so it's like there's the front end and the back end of it, right? Like, there's the front end where you're chasing the clout, then you go too far chasing the clout, then you get canceled.
Right.
Well, it just seems like if you built a career based on talent and then you say something
cancel
wrong,
you unless we make you famous first.
Yeah.
No, but it's no. What it seems to me is like it seems to me like if you built a career based on your talent and hard work, they take that away if you say something they don't agree with. However, you can just bang a fat old 74-year-old and put yourself in a Dunkin' commercial for no reason, and that's cool. Like, I don't get it. If I was her father, I'd be like, why do you want to be in there? I'd put up with enough. Why would you got to be in this commercial now? Now your grandmother's seen it.
I keep thinking, what was the Adam Sandler movie where he gets dumped for like the old guy?
Oh, the Big Daddy.
Big Daddy, yeah. I just keep thinking that scene.
Old balls. Well, at least that guy was thin. You know?
I just got sent something. I'll tell you on the other side what Jordan's mother does. That she's pretty open-minded. So I think she's okay with this whole situation.
There's open-minded. I'm pretty open-minded.
Did you know?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm pretty open.
Found out.
Would she work at a hospice?
Nope.
Bill's coming out hot. She'll put that catheter in.
She owns an establishment.
You guys are going to get me in so much trouble.
How does this reflect poorly on you?
You're not in the Dunkin' commercial.
Seriously?
This is during the Super Bowl.
How is this? We're not going to damage your reputation?
Yeah, we're not going based on a word from a friend from a friend. This is she was on the effing Super Bowl.
I mean, she's putting
no. When you go to you're in a Super Bowl commercial. All bets are off. You're in it. You're in the zeitgeist, baby, and you're in it for the only reason you're in it is banging that old guy. And now it's open season, harsh face and everything.
And this has
as soon as that was the moment of crossing the line.
She was pretty last
lot of angles.
She's pretty, but she's got a very harsh angles to her face. I think Linda Holliday's better looking. That's my opinion.
I second that.
And I'm allowed to do it because she was in a Dunkin' commercial during the Super Bowl, and I stand by all of that.
But I had like.
Oh, hold
All
on,
right,
hold on.
you got to hold on.
break.
We got to
Yeah,
break.
you gotta-
All right,
you
you got to
gotta
break. Show some restraint. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Hey, when the big game tips off, the NBA action is just beginning on FanDuel America.
science. Rocket science. Rocket, rocket, rocket. Rocket, rocket, rocket. A federal tax, they find no edible wax. They pick up my hat, I jump in the ship. Courageous.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy real quick. Zach, go ahead. You've been on hold for a long time.
No worries, Freddie. Hey, so listen, I'm from out west, okay? I was in a crip walk when I was like 9 years old. I'm 45 years old.
Okay.
And what I can tell you is this. It's when I was growing up, you didn't crip walk unless you were gangbanging. If you crip walked, you wouldn't get what was coming to you, okay? And it's become way much different. The Bloods have their own version of it. It's a statement. It's a proud statement. It's a we have arrived, we are here statement. Serena Williams won Wimbledon, she crip walked. She won the gold medal in London, she crip walked. Dre and Snoop 2 years ago, Super Bowl, they crip walked. And what that was, the whole halftime show was a statement. And Serena Williams crip walking was a statement. Okay? We are here. It is us. We are America. And so every set, by the way, it originated in Kelly Park, Compton. Eazy-E and MC Ren were both from Kelly Park, Compton. Crip. Kendrick is from Compton, Piru. So he's a Blood.
Oh,
right?
the Piru Bloods. You can't wear the Boston Red Sox hat out there. Okay, go ahead.
No, but so he did a show and he did that song months ago, and he brought Bloods and Crips onto the stage, and they all crip walked in a sign of unity. So it's morphed into something different. But growing up, every set had what's called a hood day, and everybody would see walk at the hood day. And by the way, I never banged, all right, but I'm from a crip neighborhood, so I was around it. I was affiliated.
So basically, the point is that now it has transcended the gang affiliation and has become something else.
Correct. It has.
Okay.
And originally, what it was supposed to do was like literally with your feet, you spelled out the sets, different sets, 20s, 30s, 60s, neighborhood, Hoover. But now it's morphed into a much different thing. I get emotional when it gets done in a big moment like that because again, it's
showing that your neighborhood is no longer that people have come out of your neighborhood and now people are very important in society, and that didn't seem possible when you were a kid. I understand.
1,000%.
All right. Well, thank you,
1,000%.
Zach. And by the way, before the Super Bowl's in Los Angeles in 2 years, I want you to come on and I want you to tell us every hat you can't wear in Los Angeles. I need you to do that for me. Would you?
There's too many to name.
Yeah, I know. I always find those articles really interesting. Like, don't wear these hats, and then I know that's how I know the Piru Bloods.
It actually sucked growing up, man. I couldn't wear anything. I'm not even kidding. Like I was a big Dodgers fan, right? And I couldn't wear Dodgers gear. I couldn't wear anything. So
yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how that works. All right, thank you, Zach. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. There you go. All right, so it's transcended being in the gang. Very good. My question is answered because I thought there's no way Serena Williams was affiliated, but now that is the question. All right, so we were talking about how now Jordan, apparently, Bill Belichick's girlfriend is working as his quasi-manager.
Yes.
She got herself in the Dunkin' commercial, according to Pablo Torres.
Yes.
Who did some investigating. Now you've done some investigating, Hardy.
We have found, and again, 12.
Yes.
This is from the acting as his agent or the posting to the social media.
Posting to the social media
right,
one is the cut you want to play.
Yeah, this is, just listen to this.
These two were in a fight leading up to the Super Bowl. They think that she's posting to his social media, which would make sense to back up
I have heard this.
Right. And they think at one point in his story, he had just posted like the text of a link, www.linktree.com/ and it was like the text of that was the story, which is obviously not clickable. It's not how Instagram works. And they thought that Bill made that post. So they must have been in some sort of a fight where he'd be like, I'll do it. And I just think that's interesting in this context of her being his...
She wasn't chaperoning that story.
I love this so goddamn do I love this. It is so fantastic.
You can tell they're in a fight because he's posting himself and he's not having
and he's like his thumbs. He's like, you know what, Jordan? Fine, I'll just post it myself. I don't need you all posting. Good luck posting it, Bill. You'll screw it up. No, I won't. No, I won't. I've learned. If I told you 10 years ago that Bill Belichick was going to be simping this hard for a 24-year-old and that she was going to be in a Dunkin' commercial with him, if I said Here's the future.
While he's the coach at North Carolina.
Well, screw that. This is funnier. If you said, all right, look, 10 years from now, Bill Belichick, he's drinking orange juice. He's the king of the world. You said 10 years from now, Bill Belichick is going to be dating a 24-year-old, and she's going to be in charge of his social media accounts, and they're going to be in a Dunkin' commercial with each other during the Super Bowl. You would have gone, oh, yeah, hater. You don't know Bill's the greatest. You hate Bill. You hate us because you ain't us. Da, 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 da. And now Bill Belichick. Again, Bobby Knight, John Wooden. Like, it would be so funny if Bobby Knight was in, like, a Starbucks commercial with some 24-year-old he was banging. Leader of men. Completely. I mean, it's happened. It's happened since the Roman times.
You're right. Like, this is the equivalent of Bobby Knight, Bill Parcells, someone like that. Like,
oh, yeah.
Or like an oligarch, like some guy who's like the captain of industry who gets fallen by a young woman. Like they lose their empire because of some young woman. It's a story as old as Shakespeare.
I feel like Phil Jackson would probably be a little less.
No, Phil Jackson's
is
kind of cool and like he's like into Buddhism.
And he was like a pro athlete.
Yeah,
so,
he's tall and thin and was into Buddhism.
Yeah,
like he's kind of like you could see him finessing and being. And well traveled, like you.
Yeah,
I understand.
He's sophisticated.
I understand it goes both ways. I understand being attracted to an older person, woman or man. I can understand that because there can be an air of sophistication. There can be like some worldliness that is very attractive, like woman or man. I could see like if I met some like art dealer woman that was like 60 and she was like 65 and she was like friends with like Warhol, like like traveling the world, like doing art. like I'd be like, oh, like it's super impressive, right? But if like Pat Summitt came up to me and was like in a pantsuit and was like, ah, when I was 24 years old, I would have been like, all right, I'm not interested.
This is more like in the Tommy Lasorda category.
Yes. But Tommy Lasorda was funny and famous for being funny. It's probably this.
That's going to stay with me for a while.
It's the same thing. If I was 24 and Pat Summitt came up to me and was like, Pat Summitt, come in a commercial with me. I'd be like, no, I don't want it. I'm 24. I'm going to try to make my own way.
Of all people.
It's like, remember the guy that on Howard Stern that was married to
Liza Minnelli?
No, sort of like that. Mark, he was married to that super old lady, married in quotations, and Howard would have him on.
I thought it was Liza Minnelli. It was Liza.
That was Liza Minnelli.
Yeah, it was Liza Minnelli's husband.
No, Liza Minnelli's husband was reportedly gay. This is way older. She was like 90.
I've got like a couple in my head right now that I think would be gray area ones. Like I think Tom Landry would be kind of a gray area one.
Too distinguished and tall and thin.
That's what I'm saying. Like he'd be like sort of a gray area one. There's
Mark
another one.
Harris.
Mark Harris, and he was married to whom? Go ahead.
Martha Ray. It was his relationship with Martha Ray.
And he was like, we're in love.
Right.
He's like, damn, Howard, you can say whatever you want. I have a one-man show. And he just would let Howard say whatever he wanted to him just so he could promote his one-man show.
And now the end is near.
Or is it? It's an evening with Mark. You would hope the end is near.
Wallach's right. The Pat Summitt one's the one that's going to stick with me here.
That's the one.
It's the male equivalent. It's the male equivalent. Being 24 and Pat Summitt comes up to you.
Pat Summitt.
Like she had a ruler in her hand.
Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, we're going to do this cheap Dodge Chrysler commercial for Knoxville. Like, no, I don't want to. I'd rather try it myself. I'll give it a 10-year run and see if I can hit on my own before I start having to have sex with you to do it.
I like how you put Tommy Lasorda above Bill too.
Tommy Lasorda's funny and famous and had famous friends that were funny.
Not as successful though. Not as successful.
Tommy Lasorda could be charming.
How about Tony La Russa?
Oh no, Tony La Russa was
he's pretty
debonair,
cool.
Yeah,
pretty cool. Yeah.
I get that. I understand it. I understand even from a male perspective, like a successful older woman, like if you saw like a woman, like if you see like a woman singing for a band, she gets 10 times hotter. If you see like a woman comedian, they get 10 times hotter. Like, you know, like when people are there's a charisma of like being in charge of a crowd and being like charismatic, and Bill is none of these things. None of these things.
He's a leader of men.
Which is why this is so.
That's why he's
just
so damn attractive.
But what Bert, you mentioned like for a second there, I think it does bear mentioning. This is all happening while he is trying to take over and do this program at UNC. And I know it's not as interesting as the relationship and all the, you know, the ins and outs of all that stuff. But there's a whole group of alumni that probably wish everyone would just shut up and not mention this and have this not be a thing because they want to have a good football team. And instead, all anyone wants to talk about is Bill and this girl.
Do you think recruits ask him?
No.
It's rude to ask him?
No, do you think recruits ask him?
No.
No. I think she's around. She was at IMG with him in What do you think? Well, you were probably involved with your boy getting hired over there, Patricia.
By the way,
Pulling
Jordan,
the strings.
I teased this earlier. Jordan's mom owns a sex shop in Provincetown.
Oh.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
Why is
It's from the New York Post.
I didn't know that. I would have thought that would have been out there.
No, she's the business manager at Toys of Eros, a store which sells lingerie, sex toys, erotic books, and even boasts its own sex museum.
Milking tables?
I think they sell the blueprints. They sell the plans for it.
You're handy.
Laughing at the voice.
Yeah. You're handy.
It says, what was the Bob Wiley
She's
voice?
the manager?
No, I think that's DA.
So she lives in Provincetown?
No, it is, but it's like he used it for the Cleveland offensive line coach for Hard Knocks. Bob Wiley,
Yes, he did.
All right, so she lives in Providence. You guys have your own conversation. She lives in Provincetown?
Well, she's the business manager of a store in Provincetown.
What do you think that pays? The business manager of the toy shop in Provincetown.
30 grand?
And by the way, a sex toy shop in Provincetown is not like a sex toy shop on Mass Ave. Sex toy shop in Provincetown has got some unusual things in it. If I would have to take a wild
I would
guess.
imagine that's true.
Some very unusual things. Well, listen, isn't this a tour? That's how she knows so much about philosophy.
Oh, yeah.
Staring at those huge rubber things all day. All right, I'll tell you what. That's why she can get over the grotesqueness of what's happening. Is because she's seen way worse. All right, look. What fun, but we must move on. We can only do so much on this. We've learned all about the Crip Walk in the Super Bowl halftime show. We've learned that Bill Belichick's girlfriend is his manager. We've learned so many things.
There's a lot to find out on this, apparently.
Well, yeah. It just keeps getting funnier and funnier.
You know, you got some downtime. Let's go.
Yeah, Bert, spend your off season.
Let's go.
Dude, just a big investigation. Into
Yes.
Jordan.
More people. I bet you'd get a ton of clicks.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
Oh, it would be the biggest
Which
article
says a
you
lot
ever
more
did.
about the audience than me. Right?
Yo, it would be the biggest article you ever did by a million. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Both the Celtics and Bruins are off for a while, so we have the Four Nations face-off.
Brett describes himself in 7 words.
A guy in tights and a cape.
And Hardy with blunt honesty.
I am not known as Mr. Fun.
Toucher and Hardy continues on the Sports Hub.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Bert Breer is here. What is this we're playing?
This is the punk band Death, legendary Detroit.
Ah, yeah. The documentary about Death.
Yeah, got a request for this a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, yeah, we should have this in the mix. Great band.
All right, Bert Breer is here from MMQB. He covers football. We've gone over all the ancillary stuff. How was the Super Bowl for you? Was it enjoyable?
Yeah, I mean, I love when it's there, and that's the only the second one I've covered there. But everything's so easy; it should be there way more often. It's a crime that it took 12 years to bring it back there. It blows every other city away. From a working standpoint, from an entertainment standpoint, everything's just way easier there. And if you have to get around, right? Like even Vegas was a massive pain in the ass. I don't know what people are talking about with like Vegas being a great site, because one end of the strip to the other end of the strip is like 7 miles. So once the traffic picked up there, and the traffic was worse than any Super Bowl I've ever been at, you couldn't go to other parts of the city.
So I didn't predict that it was going to be bad for that reason. I thought it was going to be kind of like an underwhelming Super Bowl, because when you get to the Super Bowl city, you want to feel like you're at the Super Bowl, and you want to have the stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
When all right, when you get to New Orleans and there's stuff at the airport, and there's things around town that remind you of you're at the Super Bowl. Vegas is just a town of distractions where it's like, no. I know you might be here for the convention, but look at this over here. Look at this over here.
Yeah.
There's all this other
New
stuff
Orleans
going
is kind of like that too. I mean, Vegas, we took a rickshaw because traffic was literally at a standstill to get from like the Sphere to one of the casinos. We went from like U2 to like the Madden party one night, and we had to get a rickshaw because that was the only way you could get a couple miles anywhere with any sort of speed, and they charged us $800.
Oh, Jesus!
So for the rickshaw,
and didn't tell us before until it was big. So like it was.
Did you end up giving them $800?
My one high school buddy had money on him, so we wound up but it was. I mean, Vegas was kind of like...
Wait, the guy asked for $800?
$200 a head. There were four people on the rickshaw.
And how far did he pull you?
About 2 miles.
So how did you settle it with him?
I mean, my buddy happened to have like that much cash.
So he gave him $800?
Yeah.
What would have happened if you didn't give him $800?
I don't know. I mean, I think we talked about it when we were walking away. Like we all had it in our heads just to run.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't even know why you'd run.
I don't know.
If he calls the cops, he's charging me $800.
That's what we said. Like we were arguing with him for a little while, and then my buddy was just like, the hell with it.
Yeah, I know. I could see doing that.
But it was like we were arguing with him. It's like, you didn't tell us, and like. That seems outright. If you're gonna overcharge us, I would have expected maybe like what, $50 a head, $100, $200 a head.
Did you try to negotiate?
Yeah, and like then my buddy was just like, we did, and then my buddy was just like, the hell with it, and paid it.
But you're right, and I think for people going to Vegas either for the first time or not being able to hop in a cab or an Uber or something, you look at the hotel, it's like, oh, I can actually see where we're going from my hotel room. We'll just walk there. And it's way farther than you think.
Yeah.
So, getting around in Vegas, I heard it was
a disaster.
Heard it was not good. So, but New Orleans
is great.
You're one of many people who said it should be there every year. It's that good.
And the one thing about it is like even when you're far away, like you're 2 miles away. You know what I mean? Like so, like I could have walked that in 40 minutes. Like there are parts in other cities where you like legitimately cannot walk. Like in Arizona, like half the stuff is in the suburbs.
Arizona is a disaster.
Los Angeles is so spread out. Like Los Angeles is so, and I love LA, but like LA is so spread out. San Francisco was messy. Like
that's where it is next year, right?
Yeah, and everyone I was talking to people here that go to the Super Bowl every year, and they're dreading going to San Francisco again. Apparently, that's just
the game is on like another planet.
Yeah,
like Santa Clara
is a long way.
Santa Clara,
flight.
I mean, Santa Clara is farther from San Francisco than Providence is from Boston.
Jeez,
put it that way.
All right.
Yeah, not good.
Good times.
All right, Bert. Well, are you excited? Matt Patricia's your defensive coordinator now at Ohio State.
I'm happy for him. I think like you guys won't want to hear this. Like, he's a better guy than people know. Like, he's been through a lot, obviously, the last couple of years. Like, I think.
Why was he such a terrible person to deal with? Why?
Terrible head coach because I think he tried to do. He made the same mistake a lot of guys make, I think, which is as a head coach, because he had only worked for Bill. He tried to lift a lot of the stuff that Bill did, and the stuff that Bill did worked for Bill and really no one else. Like,
but doesn't that show like a total lack of?
If you're going to get up there in front of the entire team, and show someone and show the entire team like 12 consecutive bad plays of one of your star players, and think you're going to get away with that, and it doesn't work. Like if you're going to do that to Darius Slay, now to his credit, like he winds up with Darius Slay in Philly. And they wind up patching up the relationship, and he left Philly on really good terms.
Okay.
Like,
yeah, but that's...
I could just tell you this, guys. Like, on Saturday at the Eagles hotel, I had a couple meetings, so I was behind the ropes. I was in the team area, the team hotel, and I was pretty shocked when I saw Matt Patricia back there. Like, so...
Was Jordan there?
No.
Okay.
No, but Matt obviously... the point I'm trying to make is, like, Matt left the Eagles on really good terms.
That's outstanding. Well, look,
so, anyway,
I'm glad that he's your defensive coordinator.
It is. I have enjoyed the conversation coming out of the Super Bowl, though. People here are very protective, very, very protective.
Yes, they're very protective.
I feel like there have been stages of grief when it comes to letting go of the winning.
Yeah, it's
now it's at the stage where you're building a fence around the dynasty.
It's time to like be an adult. Like, you can have a debate about how good teams are. It's fun. That's what's fun about sports, and how good quarterbacks are. The emotional protection of it is a little odd.
But the Chiefs have a bad Sunday, and now all of a sudden we can never talk about it again.
Right. Well, until they make the Super Bowl next year, and then you can talk about it again. All right. Well, thank you, Bert. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
It is Valentine's Day, though, and we can't dilly-dally any longer. A lot of people, it's Valentine's Day. You're stuck. You haven't gotten anything. There's only one man, and it's not Sarge GPT. There's only one man that can answer your questions. He's a live, sentient being.
That's right.
And he's going to join us in just a moment.
Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
The NHL is on a 2-week break at the moment for the Four Nations face-off. Team USA finally got its chance to play last night. Matthew and Brady Tkachuk skated on the same line against Finland, and both of them scored a pair of goals in a 6-1 win. Matt Boldy and Jake Gensel also scored for the U.S. They'll play Canada in the showcase game of this event tomorrow night. Less than 48 hours after signing with the Red Sox, Alex Bregman is reportedly expected by the players to arrive in Fort Myers today. Pitchers and catchers went through another workout yesterday at the team complex. And new Sox ace Garrett Crochet says the Sox got a good one both for the lineup and the locker room.
You look at the intangibles and he carries them all. You know, I've heard a lot of good stuff about him, just about him being an absolute baseball rat. You know, it's a guy that loves the game, works hard, and, you know, obviously his pedigree speaks for itself. Won a couple World Series, and, you know, the Gold Glove last year shows he's still at the top of his game.
All position players are expected to report by the end of the weekend. NBA All-Star Weekend begins tonight in San Francisco with the Rising Stars Tournament. The Celtics' J.D. Davidson, one of the G League players participating. And the New York Jets officially announced yesterday Aaron Rodgers will not be back with the team next season. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric, the company that finishes every job strong. If your home or business has a plumbing, HVAC, electrical, or drain issue that can't wait, you need to call 128 now at 888-CALL-128. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub. Hey, if your alarm clock sounds like this is the show for you. Toucher and Hardy, The Sports Hub.
Beautiful, my love. Oh, tell me something beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. All right. This is indeed the Toucher and Hardy Show, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And then Al Cole, the band you're hearing right here, from CBS Radio, for many, many years, manned the overnight shift where he seduced and massaged the souls of many a young lady and an old lady and everyone in between. His phone number is 508-669-6987. That's his phone number. It's 508-669-6987. You can call him. He wants this. This is what he wants me to do. And you can Al at alcoholic.com. Like you're an alcoholic.
Okay, I got it.
Yep. Alcohol. Hello.
Alco is here.
Wow. Hi, Al.
And
It's
live.
Great to have you on Valentine's Day. This is fantastic.
Oh, it's great to be here. You know, Fred, Rob, John, you're the best. And thank you for the last show and everything. I'm looking forward to this one and greasing those skids with Valentine's Day and everything. So, yeah.
All right. So, Al, you transcend material objects. And, you know, today is Valentine's Day. And for so many of us, we don't know what to do. You can't get into a restaurant. You can't get flowers delivered. But, Al, how do you express to a woman that you love her and you appreciate her on Valentine's Day, but maybe you don't have the means to give her something material or take her somewhere very fancy?
Oh, well, that's a no-brainer. It is a brainer in this society. However, that's a no-brainer with romance. Stay home. You know, the biggest gift that you can give a woman as a guy is your, not just the physical love, your verbal love, your nice touching love. Now, that's physical, but we're not necessarily talking first about sex. We're talking about closeness. You know, there are two types of relationships when it comes down to it with guys' intentions. You know, getting into a woman's pants, all right, we know that. Or getting into a woman's feelings. Now, we don't know too much about that stuff. Women love feelings. All you have to do is stay home, have a beautiful, beautiful night together, beautiful, beautiful, got somebody calling me right now. All right, they're always calling me. That's why the 508-669-6987 number is really cool. I don't mind calls. In fact, I invite them. Getting back to the thing. You don't have to go out. You don't have to celebrate, get drunk and all of that, and have a lot of other people that you don't even know interfering with your love relationship. You and your woman, that's all you need. You're a dynamo. You, your woman, that's beautiful human energy. You can explode in terms of wonderful inside love ecstasy. Guys, get onto that. And that's what women, they're going to relate to that. And they're going to love you even more, guys.
Al, can you, like, if so I'm staying home with my woman, and how do is there any way to prepare the home? Like, what, can you take me through the evening of expressing emotional and physical love?
Yeah, before she arrives, what are some things that, we could do to kind of set the scene?
Well, incense is always great. Incense sets that scene. Women love smell. Okay. Guys too, but
what kind of smell?
Well, with women, incense really gets to them. It's exotic.
Do I rub that on my privates?
Well, you can.
Okay. Would that work? Would that, in all seriousness, would that work?
Nobody's going to stop you.
Well, no, I know that, but would that work? Like, do I want to put something that smells good where I want her to go?
Later.
Okay.
You start out where you want her to go first is an atmosphere. An atmosphere we're talking about your home, your apartment, wherever you live, your condo. There's a certain atmosphere. And when you develop that atmosphere, that is you. Now, you can't do it artificially. It has to be something that is part of your confidence scheme. Now, confidence is a big thing. Women love confidence. Something that a guy knows that he's good at. And so we develop smells along that. I mean, we have human energy coming out of us all the time. We know that. We're emitting smells. We're emitting things. Sometimes you can't really, it's at such a low level. But you pick out certain incense. Now, this woman should know you ahead of time. We're not talking about the first date here.
Right.
And so if she knows you ahead of time, she already knows, oh, yeah, I love that incense. I don't like that incense too much. So the incense that she likes, that scent that she likes, okay, it's going to be over you anyway, because once you light that match to it, it's going to fill your whole room, and it's going to fill a little bit of your body. So it's going to be there anyway. You don't have to rub it on your privates, actually. It's going to emit before you even have a chance to go down in that area. And then she walks in, smile. That's one of the big things. We know that. This is all kind of like common sense stuff. You smile at her. You touch her hair. That's the first place to touch, the hair. You don't touch the butt first. Although, maybe with your woman, she know, you know.
How do you touch the hair? Do you like reach out and grab, or do you
caress it aside, Fred?
All right, John, you're not the expert. Go ahead.
Grab is the wrong word. Then you stroke it. Stroke.
So you put like the back of my hand. I'm wisping it. I'm wisping it with the back of my hand, or what am I doing?
Yeah, the back. Well, not the back of your hand. No, your palm.
Oh, and so I'm like combing it over her ear.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say that.
Okay.
Al,
no,
real quick, if I can interrupt, Al, here we go. I got a scenario for you. Just tell me, and then Hardy, this will not interrupt your flow. Al, here we go.
You're interrupting.
Girl coming over, all excited, nervous, stomach racing. Got to take a dump. Take a dump.
Oh.
But then the girl comes over, and I don't have time to take a shower after I take the dump. What to do? Because you mentioned smell.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if a smile is going to get you through that, though.
No, a smell. You mentioned smell. Is there a way to
smell?
How do you handle that? That's a very real question.
Well, you don't handle it. I mean, that's just nature there. You can't do anything about you took a dump, what, 5 minutes before she walked through the door? You in trouble, bro. No, you got to get yourself together before that.
Okay.
Okay, I think Fred's being a silly goose. I have some legitimate questions here. Now,
right.
When it comes to setting the scene, you already mentioned the sense of smell. What about hearing? What about music? And I would say, furthermore, Al, what if you wanted to get your confidence level up and you wanted to impress the woman? Would say playing an instrument for the woman. We have a couple of people on the show who play clarinet and trombone. Are either one of these sensual instruments, and would you recommend playing music for a woman on an instrument when she comes to your home?
Well, yeah, I would recommend my doing that because I have a piano in my home. I have, some guitars, even though I'm not really a guitarist. I'm primarily a pianist. So that works. I like the beautiful song that you were playing, as an intro here.
Oh, that's a good one.
Things along that line. One of the things that you want to do, though, if you're not a musician, you're not going to play an instrument usually, and it's not going to be the trombone. All right, that's out. The bassoon, that's another thing that's out.
The trombone, you're saying, because Adam plays the trombone, and he's a real loser, so you don't play
cool
that.
for Adam.
Yeah, but not cool for a lady. That's like that's a turnoff, right? Because that's a stupid instrument.
I'll leave the trombone in the case for when the lady comes over.
All right, what are the coolest instruments, Al?
Two coolest instruments, piano. All right. I mean, the piano covers all of the vibes, and we know that. And then second coolest is not just the guitar, but an acoustic guitar. Because now, hey, that's loving and everything, and, so you want to get into intimacy. And music that you play, like in the background, should be that way too. It should be instrumental music, not so much songs. You don't want the lady to have to figure out the lyrics and concentrate on the lyric. You're the lyric, your voice. That is the lyric, bro. And background music should be something that accords again with that smell thing, the incense. Everything comes into play in a coordinated way. So that background music, she already knows what she likes. You already should know what she likes. Soft music, we always talk about that. Just a few instruments, not overwhelming, not Beethoven's Fifth or anything like that, but something soft, cool, melodic, and romantic. Now, that's a no-brainer.
All right.
And you put all of these things together, that lady is going to like it. And use your palms, not the back of your hand.
Right. Okay, so we've covered a couple of the senses so far. What about taste? What about you're preparing a meal of food for this woman coming over? What
This can be so sensual.
What are some of the more sensual foods, and what
do I feed her?
What can you do with these foods?
Yeah, do I feed her? Do I feed her through the mouth?
You absolutely do. However, before that, I'm going to say something that maybe you're not expecting. You don't cook anything ahead of time. Well,
hell yeah.
All right. Maybe some guys do, some guys don't. But with me, no. We cook together. And she knows that. She's coming over for an entire, feeling fest. And so one of the things that we're going to do after we settle in and everything, and a few kisses and hugs and touches and things like that, and I love yous and some nice, some nice words from me, nice words from her. Then, you know what? I know what your favorite dish is. And the biggest thing I can do for you, honey, right now is I can start to make that favorite dish right with you right now. That's an experience. You and me making your favorite dish together.
Okay.
Now, it better not be something that takes hours. Not corned beef and cabbage. But something that's easy.
Right. So I might be hearing this and I might think, well, look, of course this works for Al Cole. He's Al Cole. Me, I'm just some schlub. Can you give us like maybe a time where it didn't go okay? Like maybe you had too many women over or like something like that. What has that ever happened? Has there ever been too many women for you to please?
Well, yeah, there would be too many women at one time.
Yeah,
Sure.
so that's been a problem for you before? Like how many is too many?
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, it's not planned that way. Every once in a while, I'm with a woman and I might be outside of my home or something, maybe another woman shows up. That can be a problem. But I never coordinate it with two women at one time.
What's
Some
the
guys do.
What's the most amount of women you've had at one time, Al Cole?
At one time, you're talking about in bed, maybe. All right.
That you've been hugging and touching and feeling with at once. The number of them
3.
at the same time. 3. So
Threes.
it was 3 women and you.
3 women and me. Yeah, but see that we're not talking about Valentine's Day anymore.
No, but because you're
We're
fascinated.
just talking about straight out sex.
No, but there's a method to getting 3 women. How did you get the 3 women at the same time?
I would say by chance. Nothing like that is planned. But it was a thing where one woman that I was with at the time, but it was just for sex, really. And when I say just for sex, I don't mean, I'm paying the woman or anything like that. I mean, it was understood that, wow, we were hot over each other and everything. And I understood the kind of woman she was. She understood the kind of guy that I was. It was not going to be an ongoing relationship. We knew that. And she got so hot and, we were really doing something beautiful. And she said, you know what? I've got a friend that I think you should meet. Wow, we're together right now. Okay. Well, 2 friends came over.
Whoa.
And then, we started to talk and everything. You can't just rush into this stuff. And, stroking of the hair of one, maybe, the leg of another one. They're stroking a little bit of me and everything. It was actually a beautiful love fest. But some of these things are not meant to last forever.
No.
They're just a one-of-a-time thing that just happens on the spur of the moment. You let it happen. You go with the flow. And if you go with that flow, women are going to take over. See, I didn't have to do anything.
You
really.
just laid there.
They
used your body as right. Yeah. So were they all attractive women, or was there one ugly one?
No.
Oh, wow.
No, they were.
Oh, wow.
They were actually all attractive.
Did you at one point during that go like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Like, this is wonderful. Or were you so in the moment? Are you able to like not think like that? Are you so in the moment?
I think every guy, and certainly to answer your question directly, I was thinking, wow, boy, I'm a lucky guy right now. And I think every guy should feel that that woman is an honor for his life at that particular point. Whoever that woman is, if that woman is paying attention to a guy has to be flattered by that and honored by that. Wow, there's something about me that is attracting not just the sexual aspect of this woman. I'm attracting her mind, her feelings. That woman means something. And it doesn't matter what she looks like at that point. She means something. That's a human being who is attracted to me. So now that guy checks out, what is that attraction built on within me? And then he can build something very special within him. Women can make a guy more special than that guy started out to be.
That's amazing.
Just by caring about that guy.
And there's probably been women that were so unattractive that were amazed that you would be with them because you have this ability to see through that superficiality, right? Like real dogs.
Well, we know that women come at different attraction levels, right?
Yeah.
So the way you're putting it, I know what you're getting to. However, we fall under, we should. I think guys should fall under the attraction of that woman. And then when that woman is very attracted to a guy, doesn't matter how they look, if we know that we're not going to be with that woman forever, we're not going to marry her, and she's not going to be our girlfriend, but for that moment, she's the most beautiful woman in the world.
Al, that is a gift. That is a gift.
Who will you be spending Valentine's Day with, Al?
Oh, those 3.
Al, you dog. How many times were you able to? How long were you able to go, Al, with the 3 girls?
Oh God, it makes it easier actually, because see, they're supplying a lot of the energy.
Yeah, I understand. I've never had anything remotely like that, but that's
cool.
outstanding.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. What you just brought up, you didn't bring it up for this reason, but I'll say it very quickly here. We know that the sex act between a man and a woman, basically, it's supposed to be the guy, pushing and all that stuff. The woman, settling back, and then they both come at a certain point. However, with 3 women in that position, that what I was talking about earlier, I was kind of more in the female role. They were more in the men role.
They're pegging
because they were active. They were more active than I was. I didn't have to really be that active. They were into it. And I realized at that point, now get this is good for the guy audience out there too. It's good sometimes, guys, to feel the beautiful feminine aspect of you and just lie back sometimes and have that woman play that, well, that
I understand,
masculine
Al.
role. Do
Right.
the active stuff, and you're going to realize, oh, how beautiful women are and how much they understand sexuality, sometimes even more than you do.
Well, Al Cole, it's what a gift this Valentine's Day.
Always learn so much.
Al Cole from CBS Radio. You can call him,
Yes.
508-669-6987. Al at alcoholic.com. Al, you are a treasure. Thank you so much, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Well, thank you. Love you guys. All the best. Thank you again. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
All right, there you
Al.
go. Who knew doing nights at WZLX could get you so much? You could get you into 3 women at the same time.
Good for him.
I don't know if I know anyone who's been with 3 women at the same time.
The Venus can do it, man. I'll tell you.
Yeah, all right. That's something else.
You gonna get in touch with your feminine side tonight, Fred?
I mean, yeah, of course. That's how I got through prison. All right, very good. We'll be back in just a moment.
Seldom right and never wrong.
Right here. Is that Dutcher or is that Hardy?
Kind of looks like a poodle. It's an effing poodle, dumbass.
The Sports Hub.
Celtics color analyst on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics Radio Network. Cedric is brought to you by East Coast. What happened? Oh, okay. All right, so he's now no longer brought to you by that. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Cedric, I don't know what you've done, but you've upset somebody.
I'm sorry. My bad.
What'd you do?
I know. What'd you do? I mean, it was something awful.
To our lovely friends at East Coast. I don't know what I did. I'm sorry. My bad.
It was your outrageous takes. You've gone too far.
Yeah.
All right. So you have to be happy. You were last time you were on. You were a little frustrated with the team.
Yes.
Now I imagine that your mood has changed.
Yeah, it has, and it changed even more. Had one of those candid conversations. Joe Mazzulla does this thing when I'm at the Garden early, and he and I are the only ones there. He's walking around with his rosary beads, and he walks around the court about 5 or 6 times. And normally he stops and talks to me. And the thing he made me really not concerned, but just calm me down. He said, I have to be patient with this team. He said, I know we're going to go through some stretches where we're going to struggle because of all the other ancillary things. Be it Jason Tatum being in the Olympics, or Brown having gigs here, or just having a team that's trying to defend. And he says he's going to be patient, but his team is going to get better. And in the last couple of weeks, we've seen that turn with them being a lot better and attention to details. And that's what I'm really starting to be focused on, and I really like over the last couple of weeks watching them play.
What type of details are they focusing in on that are making the difference?
I just think details are like stopping second chance opportunities, not giving fast breaks up, Jason Tatum getting back on the defensive end, just really all those small things that help win games. Al Horford playing and starting to knock down some shots. Derek White has started to find his range again. And at the same time, you were able to give Drew Holiday some rest, and you gave Porzingis some rest, and those guys seem to have generated well from it. My biggest concern right now is Jason Tatum, the opportunities or lack of opportunities of giving him rest so he can be really charged up. I almost wish he did not go to the All-Star game. I think I said that last time, because it would give him, I'd say, go to an island for 7 days. Just don't do anything, don't see any basketball, and then recharge your battery for the second half.
Is it one of those things, Max, where you kind of have to force him to sit? He just seems like he wants to play all the time.
Yeah, I think you look at him, Pritchard's another guy that just wanted to play all the time. He's concerned about his fan base, the guys who love to watch him play. He doesn't want to go on the road and disappoint those people who, got the Jason Tatum jersey and comes to a game and Jason Tatum is sitting down, he's not playing. So he feels very responsible to them. And that's unusual now with players relating to their fan base that much, where they feel like they have to go over and beyond, especially on the road, on a second night of a back-to-back. They are going to have to probably force him to sit a little bit more.
Okay, so when the team comes back, they're playing the 76ers. The 76ers are pretty interesting because they're actively tanking now. They're sitting everyone. Paul George played the other night. He's making a lot of money. I want your opinion on this. Paul George played the other night. No, Maxey didn't play. Obviously, Embiid didn't play. Like they're tanking. George had 2 points. He played the full game. That can't be common, right? Just giving up that much as a professional athlete. What do you think of that?
There are times I think that any athlete hits a wall, and one day you have it, and the next day you don't have it as an older player. And there are spurts. Paul George has been in so many wars that right now his body's probably feeling that way, like he needs a second night of a back-to-back. You've tried to rest him, and it just seems like things aren't going well. And this is one of the guys I looked at in this league that has been playing so well. At one time, he looked at as an MVP in this league. And now it seems like he's just hit the other side, and he's fallen over a cliff.
But on the other side, Max, Joel Embiid hasn't been the best cornerstone for this franchise, and he's spoken out against fans, and Paul George sees that. It seems like there's something else at play here.
Unfortunately, John, I think you're right. And I'm glad I don't have to be concerned with all that crap. But because you asked me, I'll tell you. Joel Embiid, I thought, was on the trajectory to be one of the greatest players to play in this league. He's still going to be a Hall of Famer with the numbers he's put up. But because he's had so many injuries, because his conditioning has been questioned, and now people are questioning his work ethic. He's just on the downhill slide that, if I was Philadelphia, if I could, and I just don't think they can, I don't think you can move him. Everybody can be moved, but, if I was to be Philly, I'd try to move on beyond him and try to, go with some more guys.
Would you play him again this year, or would you just sit him for the year?
I wouldn't play him anymore.
Yeah, neither would I.
What's the point? Look at you in the standings. Look when the Celtics come to town. Are you going to give him more confidence by watching them go out there and struggle every night? And you know how brutal the city of Philadelphia can be. Yeah, they won their Super Bowl, but they were sure right there the next day to boo Joel Embiid. They are relentless down there.
They've been bad. They've been pretty bad. One thing I'll say in Embiid's defense is that Philadelphia's been like that with him, even when he was good. Even when he was playing, they were rough with him.
Yeah, they have been, but sometimes that's the city. That's the city life that I've seen the great ones like this. You go to New York and you listen to the fan base down there, how they rip people apart. Boston is a little bit more gentle.
With basketball, certainly. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, that's what talk radio is built on. Not necessarily building guys up, but taking them down.
Not this show.
But look how great Belichick was. Belichick was one of the greatest. Is one of the greatest coaches ever to play. But over the last couple of years, people have torn him down on every measure. You don't have Tom Brady, so look at your record now. So it's, I don't care who you are. If you get in the crosshairs of the public, or really in the crosshairs of the radio people, it's not going to look pretty at all.
Belichick's girlfriend was in the Dunkin' commercial with him. Did you see that during the Super Bowl?
Right into it.
No.
Yeah.
You know what? Give me 1-800 call Bill. Get his ass some help because he needs it.
Yeah, you see it. Cedric sees it. Yeah. Cedric knows why it's fascinating.
Have you ever, any of your teammates ever made a mistake like this, and you had to take them aside and go, "Dude, what are you doing?"
Friend.
Come here for a minute. Let me talk to you. You talk to your kids like that. You guys probably don't have older kids, but I talk to my sons like that. Yo, what are you doing, man? Who is this? Who is this bimbo? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So I think we all get to that point. But then that's when you need 1-800. I have a damn friend. That's who you need to call, and that person will pull you aside and go, "Yo, man, come on." That's what good friends do?
You've been hypnotized.
That's fascinating though, because you wonder, does he have at this point in his life just a bunch of yes people around him?
I think that's well documented. He's surrounded by people like that.
Where are the actual friends to take him aside, as you said, Max, and say, "Get it together, man.
Yeah.
You can't be doing this."
One of your boys would tell you, "Yo," that's the word you use. "Yo, man, I need to talk to you for a minute."
Yeah.
By doing that, you know something's coming. My father did that with me one time. I remember when I was 13 years old. He just got back from Vietnam, and the dreaded words you get, John Wallach, is when your dad calls you back to the room and says, "Cedric, come back here." I was sir because he was a drill sergeant.
Yeah.
I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "Close the door." I was like, "Oh, what's going to happen now?" And he has a leaf in his hand, and he just got back from Vietnam. It's about fall, and he's sitting there rubbing this leaf together, and I'm like, "What is it?" He said, "What is this?" And I said, "A leaf." And he's rolling it like this, and all of a sudden he looks at me, and he says, "No, it's marijuana, and you've been smoking it." I was like, "I ain't smoked no marijuana." But it was one of those things. He pulled me into the room, and I was so petrified, but he was convinced because he'd been in Vietnam and Agent Orange and all that stuff that he knew all about drugs. I wanted to be a smartass and say, well, why don't you smoke it then?
I don't think so.
Why don't you roll that? Why don't you roll it up, buddy, and break it apart or whatever they do, and then light it up. It was a leaf from a tree, those one of my stories.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Like smoke it. Like good luck. Good luck lighting it. Yeah.
No, good luck getting high with it.
Yeah, that's it. Well, even lighting it, that's a maple leaf, sir. Like you're gonna roll that up and burn your nose off.
Yeah,
like that's gonna catch flame.
Yes.
It's gonna smoke. It's gonna set off the smoke alarm. Is what it's gonna do.
I was as a 13-year-old. That would have been one of my happiest moments. But I was petrified with this man because he was a gunny sergeant in the Marine Corps for 27 years and had just retired. So I didn't really think that I could take him until he was about 85. He got me at 85. I felt like I could take him then.
Dad strength.
But other than that, I was like, I'm good here.
All right. Well, look, Cedric, enjoy your All-Star break as we go into it, and we look forward to talking to you when things get back going again. And hopefully we get a sponsor because this is very expensive, as you know.
That is good to know. And all I wanted to know before I leave is what did you gentlemen, along with John Wallet, get your wives or girlfriends for Valentine's Day? I got to get this from John. Maybe that'll get me off the hook.
Yeah, John, what are you doing for your wife? Cedric would do so much for her. What have you done?
We do dinner. We do chocolates. We have flowers and a card.
Oh, come on, Cedric, that's no good. Right?
No, John, come on, John. You got to go over and beyond. Chocolates, is there a bubble bath in there someplace?
There's not a bubble bath. She requested the chocolates, Max. I'm doing what she asked.
Oh boy.
Well, John, your ass is in trouble because that's not gonna cut it. Okay.
Yeah.
You got to be creative as a man. You got to know that a woman wants something else.
Yeah.
But anyway, thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it, and we'll be on the other side for this Celtic thing. I think it's gonna get a lot better.
All right, Cedric.
Enjoy
thanks
your break,
so much.
Max.
Enjoy the break. All right, we appreciate
you.
it. There you go.
It's like I was talking to Al Cole all over again.
He loves your wife.
He does.
I'll tell you something.
He does.
He brings it up every time because I was gonna say it was funny because I was gonna say like, oh, do you want to say anything to Walt's wife before you go? But then he got to it first.
Yep.
It's like his signature. It's his thing.
That's right.
I'm still a little perplexed by Al Cole. His phone's got to be blowing up too. Like he's just giving his cell phone number out. Like he wants us to give his cell phone number.
Is he giving relationship advice?
I don't know what he wants with this. Adam came in and he goes, "Here's what he wants you to say. He wants you to say al@alcoholic.com and that he wants you to give his phone number out.
Yeah,
and say that he's
The
with CBS
penis
Radio.
is guided by the mind.
He had 3 women at once. I believe him too. And
most women are looking for love.
He was the overnight guy at WZLX.
Jeez.
8 is a very, very seductive number.
I got you know what's, here's me with the audience in a nutshell. Al Cole comes on for 15 minutes, and I get an email going, there's nothing grosser than hearing you talk about your sexual fantasies. Okay. What did I do? I didn't say anything. It was all Al Cole. I didn't say anything about anything.
It's not like you sound remotely like him either.
I know. It's like, what the hell are we doing here? Like everything is my fault. I didn't say anything.
You had a lot of positive,
maybe.
A lot of positive reactions to the alcohol.
Well,
segment.
I mean, Ryan liked it because he learned something.
There's a snapshot of Hardy who is just enraptured with Al Cole as he was talking.
It's a lot. I gotta process it. I gotta think about it. I listened to the last time he was on over again because it was so perplexing to me.
Listen to you. I got to process. I got to think about it.
I'm a robot.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Well, it's funny that you mentioned that. I guess you did it on purpose. Is because, we did this Sarge GPT.
Oh, no.
Everyone loved it. It was a home run hit.
I was out last night, Fred. I'm telling you.
I saw the balloons. So, but a listener did do something hard and send it to us. I haven't listened to it yet. Hardy listened to it, and we'll have that for you. Nick made a video with what is it, Max Headroom Sarge.
I think that's the best way of describing it. Yeah,
he looks like Max Headroom.
Yeah,
it's Sarge GPT.
Sarge GPT, a lot of glitches.
It's in beta.
I said several times it was beta testing.
Sarge, GPT is booting up.
Yes.
Oh, no.
No.
We're going to need that.
No, we're not doing the bit again, so don't leave.
Fred.
Don't leave. I know, Sarge. You broke last time. You broke is what's up.
No.
Yes, you did.
No.
Yes, you did.
Negatory. Good buddy.
Where were these yesterday?
Like Roman Reigns once said, I am this show. I run this show.
I know.
Acknowledge me.
You're taking over. I know. Artificial intelligence is better than us.
Yes.
All right. We'll be back in just a moment. Here are the
Absolutely.
headlines. All right. Well, here are the headlines.
Sports Hub headlines. Presented by Celsius and... Gotta go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Todger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Todger and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Variety has come out of its list of 100 best performances on television. And Himesh Patel as Jeevan Chaudhary on Station 11 ranks at number 91. The 91st best television performance of the 21st century. You understand?
95. Oh, yeah, I saw that. This is the list in Slack from yesterday?
I don't know. I saw it just on this. It's something else. It's not good. It's not a good list.
There's so many shows on that list I've never even heard of.
Yeah, I know. Well, no one has. Like, have you watched Crazy Ex-Girlfriend?
No.
Or Hannibal?
Hannibal I tried watching, yeah.
Okay. Battlestar Galactica, you a big fan? How about Alias?
Alias?
Yeah, you a fan of that?
Jennifer Garner.
I know Downton Abbey. I've never seen it, but at least I know what it is. Industry? How about Ken Lung as Eric Tao in Industry? Do you like that?
No, I don't know.
That's
from
the
that.
best one.
I don't know from that.
You don't know from that? Okay. All right. Well, listen, what I do know is, how about Christina Applegate as Jen Harding on Dead to Me?
Never heard of that.
No? Well, it's on there. All right. Well, very good. Look, yesterday I'm talking about the greatest performances. It's almost a shame that the list was already written, because if they did greatest radio performances, they would have said Sarge GPT is number one. What we did is we created a segment where we made a computer of Sarge's voice. Sarge actually voiced it, so it wasn't really AI. You probably thought it was, but
Sarge,
it wasn't.
ruined GPT is booting up.
I have to ruin it, I think.
Ruined it.
I think I have to ruin it to have this phoenix rise from its ruinous ashes.
All right.
You have to destroy to rebuild. Do you understand? You don't know anything about Buddhism. All right,
Sup,
here we
Fred?
go. Hi, Sarge. Sarge, you're a very spiritual man, aren't you, Sarge?
Great.
That's awesome. That is true.
Absolutely.
You big a fan of Kerry Washington as Olivia Pope on Scandal?
Correctamundo.
All right, very good. All right, look, so what is this? Someone sent us something, and this is real AI.
I guess it's real AI. And it was sent. Maybe the most disturbing part of this is this was sent to us moments after we completed the Sarge GPT bit yesterday.
Okay, so AI is real. I see it. It's intuitive texting is the worst, because that's like on the new update. But I've never used ChatGPT. I don't know anything about it. But my theory on the AI in terms of your voice or like manipulating images or videos is great. Then I didn't do anything. That's AI. I mean, how are you going to prosecute anyone in court for anything? Slander or defamation or anything? It wasn't me. It's AI. Someone else made it. Like that shirts you were talking about with the Star of David and the middle finger with Kanye.
Yeah.
Those were all manipulated AI.
Yeah.
Like they were all and Scarlett Johansson's all pissed off about it. So here we go.
So
this was sent to us.
It's sent to us 8:24 a.m. yesterday.
All right, and so
8:24 a.m. and all it is, Christopher sent this. He said, Sarge GPT AI theme with the MP3 attached.
Okay, so here's the MP3.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. Listen, I am not completely immune to what's going on in the world. Artificial intelligence or AI is very controversial. I know that the writers had a big strike because the movie companies were gonna ask, cue real people writing movies, and they were gonna feed scripts into a
Oh, so this is the dialogue.
This is the
from the
transcript of you and I talking, mostly you, that he just fed into some robot and said, here, make me a song.
It's funny because I was like, who's this genius? And then I realized it was me.
computer and have them like spit out something that was just kind of a generic thing, or it was gonna become just a manufactured computer program process. So I do know that, but I do know that a lot of people that even if you use that is a form of AI in some ways, and I've never used it, but there was something you're saying to be called Chat GPT. It's this all-encompassing AI that I can not only answer questions for you, but can perform tasks for you. It can really improve your life. You know, I'd say it's a...
That's not us anymore, I don't think. Is it still the transcript?
No, the reason why you don't recognize it is because now that's me speaking.
Oh, yeah,
and you
I'm
just
not
turn out.
listening.
You
Yeah.
just tune out.
I'm just like, when can I come in again?
Right.
Ah! Stop talking.
I think this is me speaking.
Artificial intelligence, but it's an intelligence that can actually benefit you and provide you with things that you don't already have. So you know I'm very old, and as this stuff scares me, so if I'm gonna use GPT, I want a familiar voice that kind of is like a womb to protect me in, while I get into this kind of new headspace of allowing technology to involve me and steal my thoughts. I believe there is something we can do to help you along those lines, and wouldn't it be wonderful if we're not only a familiar voice, but a voice that we don't get to hear often enough, a voice that is busy doing other things and is very successful. But if there were enough technology available to us to recreate this entity in artificial form, wouldn't you like to have this person at your beck and call to answer your questions, to help you navigate the roadblocks of life? Sarge GPT.
Stop setting it up, dummy. All right, Fred, we got it. You're going to keep setting that thing up, aren't you?
That's incredible.
It sounds very efficient.
Yeah.
I like that it's not my voice, though. That I like. All right, well, very good. That's
that was 5 minutes after we were done?
Yeah. The guy the guy just fed the
Thank you,
or
Sarge
fed the
GPT.
audio into whatever it is. So every song that your kids listen to, or every song that you're listening to, has just been manufactured by a record company using AI.
Sarge GPT, what did you make of that?
That earns you a Cyber Sarge Salute of the Day.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarge. Thank you for teaching us so much, Sarge.
Can you give Sarge GPT some more information?
All right. Well, this is very beta testing. You're not good at this at all, Sarge.
It's AI, baby.
Yeah, sorta. Not really. You know, Sarge?
Are you still there?
Yeah. Well, for the program to work, you just have to hear me.
Yes.
All right. Very good, Sarge. Thank you. Let's move on forever. Do you like Kendra Middleton?
Yes.
Okay. Well, she's coming in. All right.
No.
Okay. You don't like her?
No.
Okay. Why not?
Oh.
Come on, Fred.
Why don't you like her?
Let me think about that.
Yeah. Give you some time to think. All right. We'll be back in just a moment.
We'll all think.
Thank you. Sign off. That was...
NBA All-Star Weekend begins tonight in San Francisco with the Rising Stars Tournament. The Celtics' J.D. Davison, one of the G League players participating. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respected Albrecht, now 8 locations, including the all-new Subaru of Wakefield. Thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles, all at the right price at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
Listen to it, laugh at it, get mad at it, agree with it, argue about it. It is Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Is elongating.
Weekday morning.
Here goes Hardy.
Toucher and Hardy.
I no longer love things.
Let's go. Let's ride.
98.5.
Like, let's roll the dice. FanDuel Sportsbook, make every moment more with FanDuel. I was, during the break, I was texting with Crash, who used to be on the show a long time ago. A good friend of mine. And at least they were playing, like, bits from the 90s, but then, like, doing some, like, live stuff, and they're doing the show from there.
Well, we do that here all the time.
What is the show that they're doing? I don't get it.
It's the old Morning X, but it's not with Jimmy. I told you. So Morning X was Barnes, Leslie, and Jimmy in Atlanta. And they were really popular, and then I ended up, whatever happened with Barnes happened. I ended up taking over Barnes' spot. The show changed, and it was kind of a mismatch. But Jimmy, they were like a hit show, and Jimmy was like the big part of the show. Jimmy was like the funny one on the show. So they said, hey, there's this big nostalgia for the 90s now. We're going to get 99X back. We're going to do the Morning X again. And Jimmy's like, oh, that's great. He's a big real estate guy now. He's like, that's fine. That's great. And he's like, would you be interested? He goes, sure. How much? And they go, nothing. We would pay you nothing. We would literally pay you nothing. They offered him no money. When I say no money, I'm not being, it's not hyperbole. They offered him some amount of zero to do the show. So
tempting offer.
Yeah. So he's like, why? He's like, why would I do this for no money? Like, it's it's neat to be on the radio. Yeah. So they like tape it. I don't know how it works. Whatever. It's not good for any of us. It's not good. I would wish them all the best, even though Barnes sued me. I'd wish them all the best. And Leslie did give me a chance in Atlanta, and I appreciate that. But it's not good for radio that there's just this this channel of like old stuff. Like, that's not fantastic. Jeez. And they're offering no money to do mornings. That's a little concerning.
And Crash has the all-expensive paid trip to Mexico.
But my point is that somehow they finagled an all-expense-paid trip to Mexico out of a station that doesn't really a station. It's like a robot. Jeez. Right, Sarge?
You want me to boot him up again?
No. You don't have to. I'm sorry. I'm just... Now I'm 5 times and down on it. I'm just doubling down and doubling down. I'm going to make my money back. Kendra Middleton, thank you. It's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Hello, Kendra.
Hello, good morning.
Did you hear Al Cole on the show?
No, I told you when I was driving in, I was on the phone.
Okay, so no, I didn't know that you were on the phone for the entire drive and that you couldn't bother to be listening to the show to get some point of reference to what we were talking about.
Lots of good advice. Lots of good advice.
I mean,
I'll listen to it back while I lift. How about that?
I don't care now. It would have been nice if you had some frame of reference of what we were talking about before.
And I don't care that you lift. So you're trying to shoehorn it into the conversation there. I find both obnoxious and let me tell you. Let me tell you something, soul sister. I'm on vacation in 52 minutes. One more comment like that irks me, and I'm out early.
Don't be mad at me because you don't work out.
I play pickleball.
It's true. And he can hang anything.
He plays pickleball.
I saw a buddy of mine in the gym as I was leaving pickleball, and he's like, wow, you're here again. What else do you do? I said, nothing. And he's out there like he's all jacked, and he's out there working out. He said, no, I mean, like, you're in there for cardio. That's great, but what else do you do? And I said, you heard me right. Nothing.
I mow the lawn.
I show up here and I play pickleball and all this other stuff, all these weights and the pool and the sauna and the bikes and all that stuff. Don't care. That's nice. You enjoy that stuff.
It's almost golf season, though. That counts as a workout.
No,
not really.
It counts as activity.
Hardy's very thin for someone who doesn't work out.
But do you walk or do you drive the cart? Because if you walk, that's a workout.
I walk at least more than half the time.
Then I think that's a workout. I consider that a workout.
If you're carrying a bag, certainly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll tell you, I went to the yoga last night at the gym. It was a 7 o'clock class. At 8 o'clock, I got out. I went to the sauna. It's all like college kids and stuff.
Oh.
They're very muscular. And I got a vibe that there was a undercurrent of sexuality going on.
Right on.
I never told you about. I can't believe I didn't tell you about this already.
No.
So I'm in the sauna, and do you ever get a sense? I don't know, but I'm in the sauna. No one's paying attention to me. Because I'm machismo.
Is
they
it a
know.
dry sauna or a wet sauna?
Like a steam room?
Yeah.
It's a dry. This is a dry sauna.
Okay.
This is a dry.
Like
sauna.
Mean Gene Okerlund once said,
They have a steam
you can't help the way you look.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not more the way I look. It's just like machismo.
Right.
Like they're like, this guy loves chicks. They don't bother. But I'm kidding about that. But I'm being serious, dead serious. That I'm almost positive there was like an undercurrent of like eye contact and hand movements. It was it's the only time I've been there where I've thought it, but I'm never there that late. Like,
were there different colored bandanas being put on different parts of the seats next to them?
No, that would be too obvious. But there was like eye contact, like weird eye contact, and it was crowded, right? So I had to sit like in the middle, like where there's not even a place to put your feet, but I could sit on the bench, and like everyone's like in really good shape, and they're all coming in. And like a dude came in and he sat down, and there was like another dude to the side of me, and I knew they didn't know each other, but there was like this glances and hand gestures and stuff.
Did anyone have a condom tucked in between the cellophane and the cardboard of a cigarette pack? And set that on. Okay, well, then you're right. That's exactly what was happening.
What gym is this?
I'm not saying now,
that's fair,
but there seemed to be a slight undercurrent there. Nothing bad. In fact, I was excited for everyone. I felt an electricity.
Somebody's getting some.
It's Valentine's Day.
Yeah. I felt like an electricity, like maybe this is like what a bathhouse is like.
Energy. Yeah. You can. It's a palpable energy,
and it's never happened before, so it's not like something that's even in the back of my head. Like it was. I had ear pods in. I was listening to the radio, and I wasn't even paying attention. But it was so like I maybe it's in my head, but I don't think so.
No. I disagree.
It's never been in my head before.
I think you felt something. I think something was there.
Like I felt the vibration of like lust.
You should have invited everyone back to you.
And I was the third party. I could have been. You know what's funny? I was listening to something where they were talking about a older gay rich guy that had the Max Factor Fortune kids over to his house all the time. He had these beautiful boys over all the time, and maybe it was all coming together.
Maybe.
Sarge GPT, what do you think?
No. I was going back to alcohol.
What do you think? Alcohol, what do you think about all this? The vibration in the air.
Well, maybe.
Thanks, Al.
Alcohol GPT.
By the way, Kendra is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. Kendra, do you expect something from a man on Valentine's Day?
If I'm seeing someone, absolutely. I actually had this conversation the other day. I think Valentine's Day is super important because it's one of the days where you get to court your significant other. Like, I was talking to you guys off the air before we got on, and it's like there's 365 days in a year. This is the one day a year where you have to show your significant other that you like them and appreciate them. And I think that that's important because
I try and do that every day. And you know what? That's the phrase in my house. Every day is Valentine's.
Is there
Day.
a gift that would be too small and a gift that would be too big?
No, not in my opinion. Too big, yes. Too small, no.
Is there something like that you would be like, ugh? Like if a guy gave you something that was worth like a lot of money, like jewelry, you would be like, oh boy.
I think it depends on the person. So if it was something that they couldn't really afford or do, then I would obviously feel awkward about that. But if it was something that they could afford or do, then no.
What about a coupon book? And I didn't get a chance to ask Al Cole about this earlier. What if someone gave you love coupons? Like, this is good for one hug.
What if I told you I've gotten one of those before from someone?
Was it when you were at Auburn? Was it written correctly? Or was it just smudges on toilet paper?
Finger painting.
It was.
How did they spell coupon?
It was my second year out of.
C-O-O-P.
It was my second year out of college, and I was giving this kid that I had no business giving the time of day. And
Q-P-O-N-D. It's a coupon.
And
one's for Dove soap.
And he was from home, and he sent me like a bunch of coupons for like foot massages and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that.
So?
But
You still got them?
I actually found it in my drawer when I moved in May and threw it away.
Okay, so you were still real young.
No, I was like maybe 25.
Oh.
You kept it, though.
You did keep
It just sat in my drawer. Because here's my thing. Okay, are you guys like this? If someone gives you a gift and you're like close with them, it's like your partner or like a friend of yours, you always have that like inner feeling that they might ask you if you still have it or something sometimes. So I hold on to it.
No.
No, you guys don't feel that way?
No.
Maybe I'm just anxious.
Possessions never meant anything to me.
Hardy, do you feel that way?
I do. I make a point of like trying to, when I can, use that thing, especially if it's something I like, so that the other person will see that I'm getting use out of it.
Yeah, I do appreciate that you got your daughter's gifts too.
Well, I only have one daughter.
Oh, Jesus.
Or your daughter.
It's my mom's birthday, which sucks.
Is it?
So, it throws everything out of whack.
I did not look.
She's 83 today. Happy birthday, Mom. I'll spare you the insults today, but they'll come back on Monday.
You talk to your mom a lot.
Yeah, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's about how much I talk to my mom. Although,
But you're very close with your mother. You talk to your mother every day, don't you?
not every day. Usually, well, do you consider her liking all of my Instagram stories, us talking?
No.
Then
No.
No.
No,
Well,
just
see,
call that bad
okay.
parenting.
No.
I love my mom. Mom, don't take this the wrong way. I sent her so many pictures while I was on vacation. All she did was like them. She didn't say a single word. She just liked my pictures. I was like, okay, well.
You overwhelmed her a little bit.
Didn't have time for it at the end. It's like, another one. All right.
I sent her maybe like 6 pictures in total.
Yeah, no one cares, though. Even your mom.
Yeah, my mom doesn't even
How's
care.
it feel to just have no one care and you try so hard?
Well,
even your mother doesn't
You know
care.
that I have daddy issues, okay?
I'm playing.
No.
No.
Me never.
How old's this benefactor of yours? All right. Well, listen. It's an exciting day. It's Valentine's Day. My son conceivably has a game at 5:45.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing going on Valentine's Day. John is getting chocolates for his wife.
Wallach put his whole heart and soul into his Valentine's Day plans. This is Riz Wallach at his finest.
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Dinner, flowers,
The unspeakable
chocolates.
act.
Where's dinner?
Risking
A
hepatitis.
place here in Waltham. Nice place called Il Capriccio here in Waltham.
So you're going back to the bird's nest, and then you're driving back here for dinner.
You make it sound like I live in New Hampshire. I'm 15 minutes from here.
Okay.
Will you hold her hand? Will you sit on the same side?
Excellent
No,
question.
we'll not sit on the same side.
Will
What
you
if
hold
it's
her
a booth?
hand?
Probably not.
What if it's a semicircle booth? Will you sit both of you toward
Yes,
the middle?
if it's a semicircle booth, but it probably won't.
Do you know the maitre d'? Do you
I
know
do
the
not.
owner?
I know.
Have you prepared anything that the waiter's going to do that's special?
No.
Will there be a candle, John?
What'd
Have
you
you
do for
thought of
Zoe
anything?
today?
Huh?
What'd you do for Zoe today?
I know. You just reminded me.
Yeah.
I got to go get flowers.
Thank you,
for Zoe.
Kendra. I appreciate that. That was very nice of you.
But that was nice. Yeah, but I have to
I'm
remember
Team
Zoe.
Wallach.
It's my mom's birthday, so it's like it messes everything up. I don't like Valentine's Day, and I don't like New Year's Eve. I
don't
like
think
Christmas
anybody likes
and
New
Easter.
Year's Eve.
Christmas and Easter.
Well, what are you doing for your wife, Hardy?
I left her a card this morning, and I said some bacon jerky. She's a big beef jerky fan. But I saw bacon jerky. I said, oh, I don't think I've bought this one before.
Beef, what every girl wants for Valentine's Day.
You
The
gave her
jokes
Omaha,
write themselves,
He gave him
Kendra.
an Omaha Steaks. This is for the both of us. What did she do for you is what we should be asking.
Well, nothing, because I was up before anybody this morning.
Do you expect something, though?
A card, probably.
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you guys expect stuff on Valentine's Day? No.
It's, I'll tell you, it's a weird thing, like on your birthday or Valentine's Day when you're sort of dating, and then, like, it's your birthday or something, and then the person's like, what are we doing? I don't know. How about today? You take control of the wheel. Oh, I want the masculine energy. I want to know what's going. No, you do it. Why do I have to do it? I do it every time.
Get a load
You know what
of
I'm
this
saying,
one.
Kendra?
His feelings are hurt. I triggered something. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Kendra. Well, it's not the first time you've messed everything up in here.
Well, it won't be the last either.
No. All right. Well, look, there is sports gambling, even though it's a very dead time. But there's
We got
college.
stuff going on.
Yeah, we do. But where do you thrive in the college athletics and college basketball?
Yeah, I had a good tournament last year. I would say I do really well in the summer. Football season in the summer because of Formula One and lacrosse, because people don't watch either of those things except for me. So those are usually when I do pretty well.
What league of lacrosse?
The Premier Lacrosse League.
Which is where?
Here.
Okay.
PLL. Is that the one that Paul Rabel has a
Yeah.
piece of?
Yes, that's it.
Okay. And so you can gamble on that?
Hell yeah, you can.
You know how? Is there a limit to how much you can gamble on that?
It depends if this bill passes or not, I guess.
Oh, because that's something that if I was playing in that league and you asked me to throw a game, I'd be like, sure. What's the consequences? Like, yeah, okay.
That's the ones that, there could be real danger.
Well, they screw around with tennis, international tennis. You don't hear about it because no one cares, but there's always something going on. There's always someone tanking matches. They're investigating that all the time.
Yeah.
You know that, John.
Within the
follow
last
that
2 or
stuff.
3 years, there was a major investigation.
Yeah,
yes.
but no one cares, so you don't hear about it.
Exactly.
All right, very good. Well, Kendra's here. We'll get into the gambling aspect of the show and everything else in just a moment. She's a black belt is because she was serving a guy's sentence.
Because she did 100 hours of community service.
She had to pay a fine and do 100 hours of community service and put herself on a registry.
A black belt in what?
Taekwondo. I'll bring it in here.
I believe you have it. But she had to do 100
I believe you
hours.
have a black belt. I'm just confused as to why you had to complete 100 hours of community service.
Yeah, I
to
had
get
to
the belt.
I had to take a test. I had to do 100 hours of community service.
For
I had to take a written test and like an actual like physical test.
I would hope that the physical test was the most important. I mean, when you talk about being a black belt in a martial art, it's like that means you're proficient in actually doing the stuff.
Well, so like the whole thing about martial arts though is it's not just like a sport. It's like a.
Why'd you turn your phone over?
It's a discipline because I'm getting so many notifications and it's distracting.
Okay. I thought something bad happened.
She's very popular.
All right, go ahead.
It's all Twitter. But it's like a discipline. Like that's like the whole part of it is it's not just a sport. It's like a lifelong practice, and there's more to it than just like the athletic piece of it.
How many hours of the Joe Rogan podcast do you have to listen to?
0. I don't think I've ever tuned into a singular hour of that show.
No, that's what black belts do, in my understanding. But that's jujitsu. But that so how
I
long
did
did
judo in college and as an adult.
How long did it take you to get your black belt?
My Taekwondo black belt probably like 8 years.
Did you compete? Wow.
Yeah, I was a competitive fighter. That was like my sport. I traveled like all over the state of Florida and like fought people. That was like what I did athletically.
Did it hurt or was it more of like a stylistic thing?
I definitely. There were a couple tournaments where because like there weren't as many girls, I would either fight boys or I would fight up a weight class.
Yeah.
So I would be like 10, 11, 12 years old fighting 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. So
that doesn't sound good.
I mean, yeah, but it's good for you.
Could you beat up Wallach?
No, that's not.
I think we did this the first time she was ever on.
She's got that. Yeah, it's,
The answer is
I'm
no.
a light snack.
No, he's a man and she's a woman. No.
He could just fly away.
What about Gemelli?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I could definitely beat Gemelli up.
Gemelli would just cry and say, ask why.
Never mind. I can't say
He
that.
would, he would just be like, why? And then he would ask a bunch of people why if they thought that he was getting his ass kicked too.
Did you think I deserve to get my ass kicked? Is that?
Do you think Fred's kicking my?
thank you
Do you think
another
Kendra's
please.
kicking my ass? Do you think Kendra's kicking my ass? Yes, her fists are hitting your face. I don't know. Oh boy, now we got an HR situation.
I should be saying,
Boss,
it
I don't
should
think you don't need to get involved with this.
Thank you. All right, very good. You can tell it feels like we're going on vacation, John, and we're not.
No, I know. Well, I have Monday
The
off.
world, oh Jesus Christ, the world seems to be all going on vacation, but I am not. For my son does not have vacation.
Yes.
because he is one of the elite.
He can dunk.
Of the prep school kids. All right, so Kendra, what do we want to gamble? We want to have fun. The Super Bowl is over. The hockey nation's fight of champions is going on. And the NBA has gone into a hiatus. What shall we bet on, young Kendra Middleton, who's brought to you by DraftKings?
So I assume Dan and I will probably get into all of the All-Star activities tomorrow. This is kind of like that awkward period of sports between the Super Bowl and obviously, can I say the M word for college basketball? Can I say that on the air? Can you say
March Madness?
Yeah, you can say that? Okay, I didn't know.
Oh, I thought you said the N word, and I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
No!
I thought you were
God.
making. No. I didn't think
No.
I didn't think you meant
You
the
guys.
N word, but I thought you were going to say another N word.
No, sometimes you have to call it like the big game or whatever. I know we can say the Super Bowl here. But
Well, just no. In an advertisement that's selling something,
Yeah.
you're not allowed to do it. You're
Well,
allowed to say
you just
it on
said
the
that
air.
I was brought to you by DraftKings. I don't know. Anyways, it's like that awkward time between both things. So I've got
Careful. No, go ahead.
I've got 2 Four Nations bets. I've got 1 college basketball bet this weekend, and then I've actually got a Red Sox bet. I listened to all of the coverage yesterday on our station. And
Fascinating.
It seems that people really think that the Red Sox aren't done making moves, and I think that it's a decent price for the Red Sox to win 90-plus games this year at plus 175. I don't think that's really that far of a
Like off-season moves or in-season moves?
off-season.
What is still to be done? I'm not being
I think-
sarcastic.
Based off of what Maz and Milliken both think, I think sounds like they think that they both expect the Red Sox to add a right-hander somewhere in the lineup. So if they keep adding,
They just did that, though.
Wait, Milliken thinks they're going to add another right-handed bat?
Another right-handed bat in addition to Bregman?
Well, I can assure you that's not happening. They're not getting another starting position player.
No.
They have 3 kids in the top 10 prospects.
but they're all lefties.
Yeah, but are they out of their mind?
Campbell's a right-handed hitter.
Yeah, no.
No, bullpen 8. We talked about
Yeah,
this.
sure.
bullpen arm.
Yeah,
trade with the Cardinals.
Yeah, no, they're definitely going to add like a right-handed pitcher, is what I'm saying.
Oh, right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
I thought you meant. I thought you said bat.
I misunderstood.
Yeah, we misunderstood.
No.
you.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
They both expect them to add
Like a depth piece.
Yeah, another
Yeah.
right-handed pitcher, which I think adds to the. They went 81-81 last year. 90 games, adding Bregman and another right-hander. I think that's a good price at plus 175. I'm not going to touch anything with them to do with the division. I get that there's probably people who think that they are going to be some wild card somewhere, do something because. To be honest, like the competition last year,
the AL is terrible.
That's what I was just gonna say. Is the AL wasn't great. They managed to stay healthy. If they can do that again, I don't see why they couldn't win 90 games this year.
Yeah. They should make the playoffs. There's no excuse for them not making the playoffs.
What is the over/under on win total again?
For
the Red Sox.
So you can do it different ways. I want to say it's around 89.5 right now. I took it at 90 because I like to give out DraftKings odds. You can kind of do it if you think that it's 80 plus. I think it's minus 375 for them right now. 90 plus is plus 175. So that 10 game really adds you like quite a bit of profit. And I do expect them to win 90 games this year, especially because if they don't, I think the fans around here are going to go nuts.
So in the AL last year, Cleveland, Baltimore, and the Yankees all had more than 90 wins. No one else.
And I just don't think that the price is good enough for them to win the AL East. Right now it's currently plus 425. The Orioles are plus 285 and the Yankees are plus 110.
Okay.
I feel like that price just isn't where I want it to be.
No.
Okay.
All right. So I like them to win 90 games. I think that that's a good price. I also am going to switch over to college basketball. I've got the number one team in the country getting upset this weekend. I think that Auburn has not been playing their best basketball. I knew that an L was coming for them when they lost, I believe, last weekend, 2 weekends ago. But here's the thing. They play Alabama, obviously their rival, twice before the in-season or the SEC tournament starts. I think that they're going to drop one of those games just because one's obviously home, one's away. If you are a college basketball fan, obviously home court advantage anywhere is huge. So they're playing Alabama at Alabama this weekend. I think Auburn loses this game, wins the game against them at the Jungle. I don't think the price is too bad. Alabama's the underdog at home. I think that that's a solid bet this weekend. The SEC is so tough. It's a rivalry game. Auburn hasn't been playing great basketball. It just seems like they are due to lose one more before the SEC tournament starts. And I think that this is based off of their schedule where that game could be.
And this sounds like this is something you pay attention to.
Oh, I'm a big college basketball girl.
You know, a kid at Milo's school has an offer from Auburn. A basketball offer from Auburn.
Auburn is the number one team in the country, so that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes on Instagram and he's got the uniform on for the various schools that have given him offers.
Oh, nice.
It's quite something. Tony Maserati texted.
Yes, he's got info.
The gang. Do you want to read it? Because I can't make heads or tails to the first part.
Well, he says, no, it was about the right-handed bat. I said I can only speak for me, but I do think Red Sox are still one right-handed bat short. That'd be Christian Campbell, who is a prospect. I don't necessarily think they're going to sign or trade for another veteran.
Oh, he doesn't think that? Well, he did
and
say...
And he says whatever. I'm sure no one gives an S.
Tony! I think he said yesterday that he didn't expect Campbell to make the team, maybe?
Well, not now.
Maybe I'm mistaken. I can't
now with Bregman playing second,
Yeah.
his odds of making the team have significantly decreased.
Yeah, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but I do believe he said that he didn't. He said he might make the team, didn't expect him to. So I don't know. I think that they've got to add. It seems like that's kind of the rumor around town. 90 games doesn't feel too out of reach for me, though.
Okay, that's a big ass, but that's good. I like it. You don't need to win 90 games to make the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen, in the AL. Scott, go ahead.
What's going on, guys?
What's up, Scott?
Got a little bit of time here before vacation, huh?
What?
A little bit of time before vacation?
Yeah, you're going on vacation. You got like 20 minutes till vacation, man.
Yeah.
I'd leave right now.
Why?
I got some Valentine's questions.
Okay.
Hardy, is Marcy wearing that shirt you got her for Christmas? A Carhartt, the cutoff one?
It wasn't a Carhartt, and it wasn't cut off. It was a fleece line flannel from Lowe's, and no, we returned.
I thought you said it was cut off.
It was not cut off.
I mean, he could fashion it any way he wants and make her wear it. I mean, I suppose.
Jesus Christ, Walk. Why don't you just get your wife pajamagram? Why don't you put more thought into yours? Hey, you know what? They'll even wrap it for you for an additional charge, so you can even put more thought in.
All right, Doctor of Love, what are you doing for your wife?
Yeah.
Don't you worry about that, pal.
Oh, okay. In other words, you forgot about it until just now.
Oh, no, Wallach. I'm very aware of it.
Okay. Very happy for you.
Hey, Kendra, did you fix that issue that you had when you were on vacation?
Issue that I had on vacation.
You took a picture, and there was like, you said,
yeah. No, I have a huge scar.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Where?
Okay.
On my right ass cheek.
From what?
the great. Yes, I heard about
grilled
this.
my ass in a sauna. I have the sound. I have the audio of me actually, like the sound of my cheek burning.
Wait,
does it make a sizzle?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Did you get knocked onto the sauna?
No, so I film with that sauna that I'm always at. I make content for them, and I was stepping.
They'll love this.
Yeah, I want to post the video on Instagram really bad, but I'm scared I might get in trouble. But I like backed into the grate, and you just hear my whole like.
Did you scream?
No, I have the video though, but I could smell my skin burning.
Have you been branded?
Oh yeah.
So now forever.
It's like this big.
Wow.
Yeah, it's huge. I have like.
How
a
long
huge
ago did
scar.
that happen?
Like 2 weeks now, and it was 2 days before I went on vacation.
Okay, so it hasn't scarred. Like it's not a permanent scar.
It's definitely it's.
Are you treating it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've been putting Neosporin and bio oil on it, but yeah, oh yeah.
Did people give you grief for having a scar on your ass?
So I like made a tweet. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yes. Like a lot of people were like, "What happened to you?" Because it.
Do you ever just want to stop?
What do you mean?
Like it's just enough with these people.
Oh well, yeah. But so I posted that I like grilled my cheeks. I grilled my ham on Twitter, and everyone was like, "No way, show me!" Obviously for obvious reasons because men or whatever. And I said it. And so I posted like some vacation pictures, and I posted one of my huge burn as like a silly hee hee ha ha. But I've never been double cheeked up on Instagram before, so it got some traction.
Was it as big as the Game of Thrones one that you put out?
No, God, no. I don't think I'll ever reach that level ever again. That was pretty crazy.
You
but
touched
yeah,
the sun, my dear.
It's genuinely like I'll show you like the video of the sound of my cheeks burning before we leave.
So they're filming you, and what did you just backed up into it?
Yeah.
How small a sauna was it?
Probably like a 4x3.
What does that mean?
The bench it's like 4 feet long and 3 feet wide.
Oh, so it's for like a personal sauna.
It's a personal sauna.
Oh.
And I was trying to get like a view of the sign in it, and I just like whole cheek.
No, it's part of the job. Did you sue them?
No, I love them, and it's my fault.
It's always the corporation's fault.
But yeah, I do have like a solid 6-inch scar.
Okay, well
Yeah.
that's fun.
Last thing I'm going to get to, I know that everybody here is obviously super excited for Four Nations. The game last night was awesome. I hate to say it because I'm a Matthew Tkachuk hater, but I'm going to go to the Matthew Tkachuk well to score in the game against Canada plus 330. He scored 2 last night. Brady scored 2 last night. I think that it is great value considering. So just for some fun, just for some little something silly to be excited about for this tournament, especially because it's here, I'm going to go with that. And then if you really like USA to win the tournament, there's still plus money at plus 100. So if you're going to the game on Thursday and want something fun, I would maybe wait until after the game against Canada because I'm not quite sure how I feel about how that game's going to go. Obviously, they're the 2 best teams in the tournament. You might get some better value if Canada beats the U.S. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Okay, so they're done in Montreal and now they're in Boston.
No, I think they play in Montreal tomorrow night, and then they come to Boston Monday and Thursday.
Yes, correct. Walk's right.
Because call me when Sweden and Finland play, because that's when I turn the amp up to 10.
That's 1:00 in the afternoon tomorrow.
You got my attention.
Have you watched any of the games?
I put it on in the background.
It's been good.
The Tkachuks are total dorks. Have you ever seen them like together? They're dorks.
I have.
The game last night, I didn't see them go on this scoring rampage. When I turned it off, it was 2-1. I mean, I have it on. I like that Canada's so into it, and I'm not being flippant. Like I do think it's interesting that Canada's that into it.
So much star power watching Canada on the power play. It's ridiculous.
Well, do you see Marchand in the Canadian locker room?
Yeah,
and he's like Marchand's like fanboying out.
Yes,
so, like they all love Sidney Crosby so much.
Yeah.
They love Sidney Crosby.
Sid's
Sid,
captain.
you know what they call him?
Sid the Kid, I think.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know
they call
that.
him Sid the Kid.
Oh, I thought
I
they
didn't
just
even
called
know
him.
he's old now.
Yeah. No, he's probably 29.
Everything's relative. Remember we looked up Stamkos' age and he looked like he'd been in the league for 15 years.
No,
He was
Stamkos.
29.
Stamkos had been in the league.
He's 37.
That's how old Sidney Crosby
Yes.
is. Well, he'll be like Chelios. He'll play until he's 45.
I was gonna say 35, but he's 37.
All right, Kendra. Where can people find you and get all your information?
You can find me on the internet at Kendra Middleton or at Kenny with an I on Twitter. That's all my stuff. I did manage to sneakily download TikTok again, so I will have another DM video coming soon. I've had some crazy stuff going on in my messages, so I know people love those.
You can't do it on Instagram anymore.
No, because the green screen feature's only on TikTok, and I couldn't download it because of all the stuff going on, but I found a loophole. to
Okay.
re-download
There you
it,
go.
so-
All right.
workaround.
Well,
Yeah.
the workaround. All right, Kendra. Thank you so much.
Enjoy vacation, Hardy.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be. John and I will be here. John not here on Monday though, like a traitor. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines.
Sports Hub.
It's in the air. He got it. He did it again.
98.5, the Sports Hub. You said you wanted to hear more music in the morning.
Never had to knock on wood, but I never had it yet.
Oh, you said you didn't want to hear more music in the morning. Okay. Here's more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show?
It's two-stack Martin. It's two-stack Martin. Ready?
It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, and I will not belabor the point, but our friend Alan Siegel, who's a good guy, he writes for The Ringer now, did something about the writers talking about the best skits on SNL and the guys that were behind them. And, you know, they're all pretty much just recent ones. But this Beavis and Butthead sketch that they did is getting a lot of traction. And I did not even smile during that. It's just because they break. It's because they break.
It's because they break, yeah. And I still haven't seen the whole thing in its entirety. But
yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
No. But I'm telling you, you really just kind of have.
Oh, okay. By
By
seeing like a few seconds of it.
yeah, they're
you get
Beavis
it?
and Butthead, and they move them around, and like it doesn't build to anything like triumphant.
That sucks.
Yeah, you didn't miss like a turn.
Okay.
Like it's pretty much like these guys look like Beavis and Butthead, and they didn't know each other, and now they're sitting next to each other, and they're Beavis and Butthead.
It was funny. I watched it live when it happened, but it wasn't as funny as it's become, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it's become like viral, and it wasn't like it out of sketches you thought it was fine, but it wasn't like something that was memorable.
Yeah.
Right. I understand.
All right. What will Adam 12 be doing this weekend?
Oh, okay.
It is time to check
Someone wants to go
on
on vacation. It's just going right to it.
Well, I mean, there's a lot happening over this 3-day weekend
For
for
some.
a lot of people.
Holiday
some.
weekend.
How about this? Axe and the Hatchet Men.
Axe and the Hatchet Men.
Chicago Sextet, one of the few bands with a horn section
What?
that doesn't play ska. Instead, they sound more like a brass-assisted Strokes, but buoyed by the kind of earnestness that's more common in college towns than the concrete jungle of New York City.
Where are they playing?
Yeah, you got him excited with this stupid flowery write-up.
Brighton Music Hall.
Oh, yeah, I like the Bright Music Hall. Listen,
It ain't going to be free, though.
I'm not going
$29?
Yeah, I'm not paying $29
Ooh,
bucks.
that's a
But
lot.
I'll tell you what, if they need a second,
Poets and rappers. With
coolest.
additional verse from 3-time Boston Music Award winner Amanda Shea.
oh, I know that name.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You're a poser.
So,
You
so we
don't-
got some
Connecticut Poet Laureate Michael Chief the Poet Peterson.
Connecticut
Live
Poet
music from
Laureate?
Yoshi Hana and C4. This happening at City Winery.
I bet you Connecticut's sneaky hard to be the poet laureate of because of Yale and all the colleges.
yeah.
This
What do you-
scratches a couple of itches for me with the poetry and the hip hop, and I like City Winery.
It's going to be the
nice place.
coolest hip hop too.
Tickets between $30 and $55.
Out.
I wonder if Butterfly from Diggable Planets will be there.
They actually toured last year.
Oh Jesus!
They got back together. Yeah,
How about
It's about time.
I love that album.
how about the
You
Somerville
love that
Winter
song.
Farmers Market?
That album's
Oh,
not
of
so
course.
great.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Wait. First of all, Fred, I literally love that album. It's great.
Well, the second, I actually liked it too.
Yeah.
The second one's awful. But
It's not good.
okay, the Somerville Outdoor Market.
Winter
of course
Farmers
he's in
Market.
there.
Too bad Kendra's not still here.
Close to 70 vendors offering produce, dairy, meat, pastries, coffee, specialty items.
He's in.
Yeah.
It is free. Free to attend.
How far for you to get to Somerville?
Depends on where in Somerville it is.
All right. Well, we don't have to
Yeah.
get specific. Do you take the train or do you take
No,
your
I would-
automobile?
I would drive my automobile there.
Will you roll down the window using your crank?
I do have power windows, believe it or
Will
not.
you
in
reach
the Subi.
between your legs to adjust the seat?
Yes, I still have to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
This one has been around for a minute. The Innovation Trail. Not colonial and revolutionary Boston, but the hub of science, medicine, and technology is on display.
Yeah. You want to bring it all back? There's a
Starts in
milking
Central
table.
Square, Cambridge, or Downtown Crossing. The Innovation Trail.
The problem is the thing is it's anonymous, so you know that whoever's humiliated, you don't know them.
You saying I get to go for a walk and learn? I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey, Hey, real quick plug, Mass DCR. They've got the maple sugaring going on for.
Jesus God.
It's good for the kids because it's.
You just said words.
Vacation.
Mass DCR.
Yeah, the Mass DCR. If you go to like Blue
Who
Hills,
knows what that is?
You go to Blue Hills, or you go over.
What is
to,
the acronym DCR for?
Department of.
You don't even know.
Conservation and Recreation.
You are such a poser. What a poser!
But you can go. You take your kid and learn about maple sugaring, make a little maple syrup. I like going down to Breakheart Reservation. That's one closest to me. So check that out for the vacation week. And
enjoy your weekend.
Oh, Hardy, you're leaving for vacation.
Yes, that's right.
You
Have
should
a good
probably
trip.
shut
Have a
down
good vacation.
the Sarge GPT computer.
Sarge GPT signing off.
All right. That's it. That's all. Enjoy your vacation, Hardy. Some of us will be back on Monday, the hardworking ones. That'll do it for us.